It's DJ Daniel, you dig? You're tuned in to KOOL Radio, your number one station for the truth about what's happening in the way out wasteland. But enough of my spouting. Let's warm up with some new hot licks.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Saturday here on Pod by Night. I am Dot, your overseer, here in this vault we call Pod by Night, where we make stories, after dark, spoopy, horror, a little edgy. And we do it as a group of friends. And you can see these lovely friends' faces here on the screen. We're back with Bub and Zach and Bentham and Tracy. Maggie is on motherly duty right now. Literally, she's living her best Kalita life, so we're going to let that happen. And she'll be back with us very, very soon. But I think we need to take a moment and maybe do a recap because we were out last week. We had a lot of players out. So I can do a quick one and then let y'all fill in. Would that make y'all feel better?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So you all left Diamond City, or I'm sorry, left Good Neighbor with big business in tow, looking for a place called Beatsville, which you found. And to your surprise, it maybe was not what you expected. Hidden in a complete anonymous way underneath an old junkyard called Big John's Salvage. Kind of hidden away. And in this community, they are thriving in essence, but they're thriving in isolation. Artists and creatives are making new things and doing and making big moves in terms of like building something new in the Commonwealth instead of just recycling what was. They are what is. And this includes music, and they have a printing press, and they have a hydroponics garden built out of cars, all kinds of incredible things. And what they learned is basically these people are on the brink of danger. Sister Delilah knows that the children of Adam are looking for them. Mortimer knows that the Minutemen are looking for them. And all it takes is one bad word, and their location could be found. The llama says that as long as they stick true, they'll be fine. But not everybody here is convinced, especially now that the Beatsville band, the Jam Bakers, want to take their act on the road. In this trying time, the Commonwealth deserves their music. And amongst the Beatsvilles, the Beats, if we'll call them, the people of Beatsville, is a young girl. Her name is Muse, and she, being mute, communicates with her hands. Mason knows this to be a form of language maybe lost to time, known as ASL. And she had quite a story to tell, a lot to share. Most importantly, that she's undergone extreme trauma at the hands of the last son of Adam as she was taken from her people aboard the Mirage. And the only way he promised to let everybody live was if she came with him. And that included her father, who is still aboard the Mirage. She managed to escape after being used to write propaganda and teach a large multi-legged creature, that is what you learned, to communicate or at least understand words in ASL. She managed to escape before kind of like the completion of that process was done and was found on the edge of the glowing sea by Dead Drop Dave and brought here. After a very hearty meal and Mason's kind pincers braiding Muse's hair, the Jam Bakers are ready to perform this evening. It's going to be a bit of a heyday. You can feel the excitement in the air, joy, like happiness, which is something that most of not just the Commonwealth, but the wasteland lacks in vast quantity. It's almost strange. Now, what do you all remember, or is there any pieces that I missed that you think are really relevant maybe to your character or were a standout moment?
I remember Mason doing his best to needle and not deliberately prod Sister Delilah. That was, I feel like it was poignant for him because he likes everyone. He really likes the companionship that he has, despite how different they are. It's really nice to have people to talk to and engage with him. And he does enjoy Sister Delilah. He thinks that everybody deserves faith, but he also thinks it's important for people to question that faith. And that was like his way of just being like, maybe it's not all right. Maybe you're smarter than that, and you can see this. So I thought that was pretty important for Mason, specifically in regards to that. But he also he really admires the people that he's with, and he's becoming fast friends with Big Business. Even if he doesn't see it that way, he's actually quite chummy with Big Business as often as he can be.
Yes. And I think after that conversation that Mason had with Sister Delilah, she did go and had a moment of quietness and prayer in the little meditation area in Beatsville, which was very nice. And as she was praying, I believe it was Dave.
No, it was the llama.
Oh, it was the llama. That's what it was. Yes. The llama did come and have a little conversation with her as well, which was very nice.
Philosophical reminder.
Yes. So I think now Sister Delilah is at a point, she's more so, I don't think she's questioning her faith, but she's questioning this new prophet and their motivations, especially after all the things that she's heard with what happened with Muse. So yeah.
I think for Big Business, hearing Muse's story of like growing up in Vault 88 and then those survivors building the Mirage and then the arrival of the last son of Adam, that huge lore drop that we had last session was, at least for me as a player, a really big deal.
Yeah.
And
it's
I think
a nice
kind
little
of grounded.
Fallout 4.
Yeah, definitely. And very anxious about the large creatures that creature that she was teaching sign language to, that the sons of Adam are trying to use.
Wasn't there a want to go see Madam Adam? Am I making that up? At the circus? To have her read future or something. I can't remember. There was so much last time.
Or didn't you guys say you already did that? Or had someone...
No. That was we had heard that there was an individual that was capable of she had not quite clairvoyance, but she could see like fates and stuff like that. But we didn't get a name. It was just that someone was capable.
Well, I spilled it above table. Her name is Madam Adam. So
yeah, and I'd say the only other thing was Big Business tried some bread, and that was fun.
Oh yeah, fresh hot bread. New favorite.
And he's definitely going to try to get as much food as he can from Beatsville here, so that he can continue his business, his big business outside of this place.
And what about Mortimer?
From Mortimer, he was really, really suspicious of Beatsville when he arrived, because he's like, there's no such thing as a free lunch, and this bread's really nice. But from everything he's seen, it's legit, and if it is, then it's basically everything that he wants. Basically, he wants to build something. He wants to, actually not just survive but thrive. And he's like around all these people who are thriving, and it's telling him that it's possible, because he's always like, there's only so much you can dream of. And when he sees it, he's like, okay, I know this can happen, and if this can happen here, it can happen anywhere.
Yeah, it's like maybe something sparked a little bit of hope in him.
Yeah.
Oh.
Also, shout out to the mum where he recognized the the basically hidden message that
Oh yeah.
Muse was writing into the
Yeah, that was
speeches of
big.
like,
Yep. Oh yes, yes. Trying her best to fight back, if you would. Yeah.
it's like, I see it, I recognize it, hell yeah, approved.
And it's the sound of like beach rock, right? That kind of kicks up, and people are so excited. They're dancing, they're carefree, and these four dudes, Mason, I'm so sorry, with these four really bad bowl cuts, yeah, I'm sorry, are just jamming away on their kind of like makeshift drum set and these guitars, and they're having a blast. And these people are living in the moment, completely. Even Muse, and she's like swishing her new fresh braid around and her dancing, and everybody's having a good time.
Big business is doing a little sidestep.
Yeah.
He's standing a good, like, half a body taller than everyone else in the crowd. Probably has just a wide berth of people around him.
And they play. I mean, unless there's something you want to do, I will say this. If there is a want to look about, everybody is in this one room. So they're not anywhere else in Beatsville.
Yeah, but it's at nighttime.
You don't know.
Should find a way
I
to.
love this predicament for Mason.
Maybe that's what we can get if we reach the sisters. Maybe that's something they can do. They can give you control over your.
They can add a switch.
No.
Yeah.
Give him complete control.
I like to think that there is some metal-ass nun over in Mechminster Abbey that's like, please lie down on the couch, Mason. And he's like, I have so many problems.
Well,
Yeah,
maybe
big
as
business
you
is just
dance
dancing.
and dream of
Yeah.
of what Mechminster Abbey could possibly hold, is there any business that wants to take place, or do you all actually want to partake in a little bit of fun?
I think all of the wow, what does fun look like for Mason?
Yeah. Fun, you say?
Yeah, everybody's like, that's, and actually, I mean, I guess it's kind of a moment where you're all maybe standing there watching these people enjoy themselves, and you're like, I don't even know how to do this. All I know how to do is survive and shoot and negotiate and barter and just live. And these people have found a different definition of living.
I think if anything, Mason would probably find any one of the party and just complain about their style of hair and how awful it is, how abhorrent it is to like look at. Like, he gets the synchronicity of it, but like, oh God.
Mason, you know what? Okay. You saunter up to a guy who has really nice hair. It's thick, it's curly. I would say it's not like big, but it is dense. He has a dense head of hair.
Okay.
Okay. And he could use a trim and you wouldn't even notice, right? Just because of the way the curls are. And he looks like he's having the best time. Yeah, he's just having the best time, and maybe you saunter up and he's just dancing away, and you make a just open complaint about their hair.
Yeah, I think so.
He goes, "I can't hear you, man."
Mason will just raise both of his functioning arms and just sort of sway back and forth similarly. Because there's nothing else he can do if nobody else is hearing him.
He mimics you when he's like, "Yeah, rock on, man, here." And he trades you hats, because you have a hat. You have like this, like, right? And he has a hat. It was kind of in his hand or at his waist, so it wasn't on his head because you could see his curly hair, but he was like swinging around with it, and he trades you hats, and he has a very silly hat. It has a weird spinner on the top, as if it were to fly away.
I don't even know what Mason would think of that. I think he's definitely going to want his newsy cat back.
Yeah. He's not he switched them. And he like switches them back, and he's just trying to have a good time because the music is so loud.
Sure.
That there's no possible way you could have like a proper conversation.
Yeah.
But over the music, he goes, "Hey, what's your name?"
I'm sorry. The meme in me is supposed to be like, Tony! No.
My name is Mason. It's Mason, my good man.
He goes, everybody calls me the Jester.
All right, I'll take my hat back, Jester.
Oh, it's funny. You know, I make hats.
Do you? Oh, you do?
What?
We should talk, Jester.
He goes, okay. Like, he didn't actually hear what you said, but he wanted to be agreeable.
I don't leave his side.
You
I was going to, but not anymore.
yeah. It's perfect. I want to know what Mortimer is like in a situation like this. I feel like this is is this his scene?
I think like at first he doesn't know what to do, and he's just kind of like taking it in and being like, "This is so surreal."
Yeah.
But it's good. It is good, and he's tapping his feet and he's nodding his head, and he's like, "I could get used to this. This is nice."
I like it. Okay. Yeah.
Like, still in the back of his mind, he's thinking like, "Here's all the ways this could go wrong. What happens if it gets found out? Who could come for us? How's the defensibility of this
Yeah,
place?
are they too loud? Like all kinds of questions, no doubt.
Yeah, but it all comes down to like, how do I protect this?
And what about Sister Delilah?
That's a good question.
Does she dance?
Dancing is forbidden. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
We dance only in Adam's direct flow.
Yeah. I think Sister Delilah would watch from afar and maybe eventually move toward Mason and the crew and get a little more comfortable and enjoy the atmosphere. I don't know if she would exactly get into it.
It is an atmosphere, that's for sure. And people enjoy themselves, and they'll play 2 or 3 songs. Mason, it's pretty much like this the whole time as you yell back and forth, and Jester misunderstands you. And you begin to realize why they call him that, because he uses jokes as a defense mechanism to some degree. It's like his way around having like people get to know him, but his jokes are bad. Like dad joke bad.
Great. That's the best kind of person.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe it's why everybody here chooses not to wear hats. I don't know. But they play probably 3 or 4 songs, and eventually one of them comes to the end, and everybody's cheering, and it's loud, and it's like, yeah. And I guess you could say the lead guitarist steps up to the mic, and he goes, "Thanks, mates. This has been a rocking good time, but we here, the Jam Bakers, have some news for you." You see DJ Daddy-O step onto the stage, the cool cat with his own microphone and the whole 9 yards. And he says, "That's right, Beatsville. I'm here to tell you that the Jam Bakers are taking their act on the road." And you see there is the room, like the air, gone. And there's like this immediate mixed reaction in the crowd where like some people start to clap and then other people like stop them. They're like, and DJ Daddy-O goes, "Don't get too excited. They'll be back, don't you fret. They're looking for volunteers to see who wants to escort them on the road." Silence in the room.
Big Business just slowly turns to look at Mason and the rest.
Please allow me to assist.
I'll put up a hand. We'll be heading on our way soon. We could accompany you.
DJ Daddy-O goes, "I dig it, you cool cats out here becoming groupies and bouncers on the fly." And everybody like kind of turns to you and they want to cheer you on for being the people that volunteered so they don't have to. But they're also real pissed that this is, maybe not everybody's happy that this is how things are going down. And the llama says, "Well, let us all cheer on the Jam Bakers for their new path in life." And everybody's like, yeah. Woo. And the Jam Baker says, "We'll make sure when we get to Diamond City to give you all a shout out on the radio. It's gonna be cool, man." And he like swooshes his bowl cut out of his eyes just for you, Mason.
God, no.
And he steps up and he says, "Why don't we take an intermission? We'll be back in 10 minutes, so don't go anywhere." And everybody should be cheering, and it seems that that moment has maybe passed.
I walk over to the group and say,
Oh, Mason, what did you agree to?
I don't know yet. Good news, though. Something completely different. The man there with the wild hair and the spinning cap thing. He's the professional hat maker.
Oh, that's okay. That's good. We should talk to him about our hat situation, perhaps.
I'm inclined to agree.
Yep, if he hasn't seen the hat somehow, then he can make one.
Oh,
Do we think how hardcore do we think Hancock is about like his original hat? Big Mrs., do you have any, you were hired by him. Do you think if if somebody loses their pet and then you get a new one and you say, look,
This is the same goldfish.
look, your little gerbil, it comes back. If you know to gerbil, I don't think I've seen a gerbil
what's
ever.
a gerbil?
Exactly. But do you think that he would be that he's like very particular about his hat,
Game overseer, what do I know about Hancock's
I
relationship
draw
with his
your
hat?
attention to the flyer. Well, first off, you big business know, in terms of being a friend of Hancock's, that his entire identity is tied to that outfit. Right? Everything that he is, the rebellion that he led, the finding of the uniform, the taking up of this kind of new identity of leading these people when the ghouls had nobody else and were kicked out of Diamond City, it means a lot to him. Like this is why he's in a depressed state. I also call your attention to the flyer, which blatantly states, "Beware of false Minutemen replicas."
Uh-huh. Yes.
Big business
Well,
will
if-
look and say,
It's very important to his look. So, if he wants the look, then we should make him a hat.
Yes.
I think maybe the honest approach is the best one in this case. We bring him the hat. He's gonna know it's a replica. We tell him it's a replica. We tell him it's made by the finest hat maker in the Commonwealth, because I hope this guy is. And we tell him that we're gonna keep looking for his real one, but in the meantime, here's the closest he could get without it.
Or we could bring him other options, like he could have this hat, or he could have my hat, or he could have Mason's hat, or
No, he can't.
a hat that looks like yours, I mean.
Ah, yes, maybe so.
I think it's
Okay.
got to be a tricorn. It feels like it's important to the whole vibe.
All right. Okay. That's a plan. Okay. Let you know what? Let's talk to the hat maker, see if they've seen the original, and then we can come up with a plan from there and see if we need to make a new one then.
I
Hope
also
it's not
think we need to
expensive.
have a talk with these jam bakers, because they're about to get themselves killed. And possibly this entire town.
Why is that?
Because they're about to be a high-profile, well-known group that is tied to Beatsville, a hidden location, on the road. Announcing their location everywhere they go. Someone is going to find them, capture them, and get out of them where this place is.
That is a good point.
And they're not going to be as nice as we were with Dead Drop Dave, which wasn't that nice to start with.
I was nice.
I wasn't. At first.
All right, let's go get some hats first. Maybe
Alright,
I
hats
think
first.
this way.
Come this way.
You
please.
see him over there. He's imbibing of some kind of probably homemade alcohol that they distill here on site, and he's trying to flirt with someone.
Mr. Jester,
What? He turns around.
it's I, Mason. I was dancing with you for the last 4 songs.
Oh my God, Mason! It's so nice to finally meet you.
I don't know if that...
Let me just
yes,
tell
it is.
you,
It's
that
great.
hat that you have is in pristine condition. If you could just give me just a few minutes alone with it, I could.
I'd rather you not soil my hat.
Well, I wasn't going to put dirt on it.
I would hope not.
What were you going to do?
Well, I was going to pizzazz it up.
Oh, no.
Zhuzh it.
It's got plenty of zhuzh.
It could use some more zhuzh.
Needs no more zazz.
It could be zazzed up.
It's
What
packed
are
with
you
the zazz.
saying?
What can I do
Stop.
for all of yous?
I don't understand. What is this?
We need a
word that-
hat, Jester.
Okay.
Oh, I got tons of hats. I could take you to my stall right now. What you want? You want pointy hats? You want tall hats? You want oversized hats?
We
I got
want
hats
this
with
hat.
brims. I got.
This one.
You want a tricorn hat? It's kind of boring. It's a
Yes.
little minute.
Make it.
I slapped it on the table.
Do you happen to have like any that have come in like lost and found, like somebody delivered one to you by chance?
You mean somebody came in trading hats? I can honestly say I don't think anybody's bought a hat in moons.
So
Just in case one came in with the scrap.
Oh no, I ain't seen. I mean, the last tricorn hat I got, I didn't get. I mean, it wasn't a debt. It was. It might have belonged to a Minuteman.
They usually
Have
do.
it.
Yeah, I can show it to you. It's in the booth. Nobody ever wants a tricorn hat. Why you want a tricorn hat? Whose hat is this? Why is it missing? I got questions.
it's a very valuable item to our proprietor employer, and we are trying to find the hat.
It was stolen, and we were wondering if maybe it had turned up here in the purview of a hat specialist such as yourself.
Well, I am. This gentleman's got some manners. I like the way you talk. Let me just say, I can propry any hat. I have propried hats, and I make the best hats for proprietary reasons. So why don't you step on over to my store, hats, and I'll be happy to show you the tricorn hat I have in stock.
Hats. What a name.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I was told it tested well in marketing. Let's go. And he kind of steps over, and you actually leave kind of the crowd of people if y'all follow him, and he takes you back into Artist Alley, and you can see his shop is one of many. It's a work-live space, and he's just got hats. It looks like I imagine the way a carnival booth looks with like stuffed animals. It's just like hats line the wall, and they hang all over the place from the ceiling. And he goes, where is? Oh, right, it's up here. It's underneath this one, and he pulls one off the wall, and underneath it is a tricorn hat. It is not. Well, actually, you are unsure. That drawing of that
Would
hat,
I have seen?
you would see
Hancock's
Hancock's
hat,
hat.
though?
This is not Hancock's hat.
Okay.
This is a pretty standard all blue, really worn, and you can see that there is a bullet hole directly through the crown piece of the hat. He's managed to get the stain out of it, and he's tried to cover the hole with like some embroidery to make it look purposeful, but it's most definitely a bullet hole.
I like it.
He says, well, you can have it for a solid 10 caps. Or you can trade me some of your junk, equal. You know what? I'd take Mason's hat.
No deal.
That's a nice hat. Okay, well, what do you want me to do? It's a tricorn hat. Is it that tricorn hat? And he points to this, like, cartoon level print drawing, and he says, I don't know. You tell me.
I
don't think it's the one.
As you can see, it's aged brown leather, dingy, and this doesn't seem to be fitting that profile.
Nope, this is most definitely blue.
Do you think that you could make a hat as closely resembling this as possible?
I could. I mean, some fresh leather, a little distress. Yeah, it could be, kind of like my masterpiece. What are you gonna give me?
Perfect.
What do you want?
Well, see here in Beatsville, caps only mean anything on the surface. Down here, we trade with stuff.
What about this?
You got anything
I-
unique, new?
I pull out my briefcase, which has a couple pre-war dollars that are sticking out of the sides of it, and
Aw,
I kind of like
interesting.
pull one out.
I have lots of this.
Okay, well, that's a good start. It's nothing better than a money-stuffed mattress, if you know what I'm saying. So I'll take all the paper that you got.
Not all of it.
Oh, I was going to take it all.
I look at the others and say,
Or,
Right. Mortimer, you were saying honesty is the way. But now we're gonna have him make a fully fake hat.
But we're gonna say as such to Hancock. We're gonna tell him that it's a replica to tide him over till we find the real thing.
That's smart.
It buys us more time, I hope.
I will give you 20 of these.
I hold up a pre-war dollar.
okay, what else you got? You came in with like a Brahmin or two. You came in with some junk. What kind of junk? What you got?
I go and come back with some of my stuff. I'm like, I slam a jar of Brahmin milk onto the table.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Let's see, clicky, other things I have.
What else-
I have
what
lots
else?
of more money.
You did come
I
here
have-
looking to sell some things, so now's maybe a chance.
I spawned into this game with very little.
Yeah,
Unfortunately. I put down. Well, Mason, do you actually have a flamethrower? Because there was this talk when we were trying to replace your
Mason
battery
does have a
unit.
flamethrower, but it's his dead arm right now.
Okay.
Just in a
So I'm reserving
sling.
that flamer fuel for you then. But
Thanks.
I will put a diluted stim pack on the table as well.
Okay.
That is all I will give you for a perfect replica of this.
And I point at the poster.
All right, here, I'll make you a deal. I'll take all of this, and I'll make your little replica hat. When I'm done, and you come back to get it, you gotta bring me something good.
Or you take all of this now and you make the replica, and when we come back, you're happy because I don't hit you.
Okay. See, here in Beatsville, we don't use violence or threats of violence. But what I think I was trying to say is, I'm a collector of unique hats. My understanding is there are a lot of hats on dead heads above on the surface. So all you gotta do is keep those big, beautiful, green, super mutant eyes peeled, and if you find a hat, you bring it back to me. When you come back, maybe to a hat for a hat. It's gonna take me a while. Because I gotta stitch it. I gotta get the leather. I gotta oil it. I'm gonna have to shape it. I'm gonna have to make it look distressed. I'm probably gonna have to put it on somebody's head, at least once or twice. It's a lot of work.
Business turns to the others and says,
I don't like how much he talks.
Yeah. He's a bit of a snake oil salesman, that's for sure. He's just not selling you snake oil.
Allow me then. Jester, we would be happy to accommodate your needs in finding and selecting the rarest of hats. Accommodations from the surface world, as you see fit.
Really? That's it? Yeah, okay, deal. Sold. I'll shake on it.
Any hats that we find, we shall bring to you.
Yes, yeah, you bring me all the hats, and I promise you, he'll never know that it'll be so brown leather distressed, he won't even know it's not his real hat.
All right. The only caveat is you cannot have mine.
Well, you know what? If you decide that you're tired of it, I'd be happy to take it off your hands.
I hear you. But
He
you will not
doesn't
connive
have
me
hands.
from this. This is mine. A prize piece. Something that heralds a year bygone. 100 at least years old.
How do you, with the, how does this, you know what? We'll answer that next time you come visit me. Let me get started on this hat for you, right? Because it's going to take me a while.
Perfect. We'll see you soon, Jester.
Okay, bye-bye.
Pleasure doing business.
Oh, yeah, business, so good. Just gonna take these dollars here and put them in my mattress. And he goes, he like stuffs them under his mattress. And you can hear him like gulping away on the milk. Like he doesn't even save it. He's that kind of person. He just immediately, in a gluttonous way, just begins drinking this milk. And as you walk off, you can hear the band has started back up into the second half of their like show. It's not as jovial now. It's almost sad. This is the last time the Jam Bakers will play live at Beatsville, potentially. It's like saying goodbye to your favorite band.
So people are kind of accepting it now?
I wouldn't say accepting it. Some people didn't even come back for the second act after they broke for intermission. The crowd is definitely smaller. I think the people that are here are more worried about missing the last performance than acceptance at this point. Like there's nothing they can do.
They're in depression.
They're in depression. Yeah, it's more depressed now. They're like, well, break out the lighters. Like, here we go.
Do we see the llama anywhere?
He is still here in the room. He would absolutely not have missed it.
Is it still too loud to have a conversation?
He is not at the front. I would say he's probably at the back of the room, near the doorway, actually, the entryway into the next space, which would be the eating, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. As we walk by business, we'll stop and look at him and say,
Are you going to stop them from leaving?
Who am I to stop them?
The llama.
I am the llama. My job is to not stop people. It is to guide them to a path in which they choose to walk. They have chosen to walk a path that I cannot follow them on. And that is okay. Is it my choice? No, but their life is not mine to control. And who knows?
Okay.
Maybe something good will come out of it.
Yeah, maybe. I think we are going to be escorting them across the Commonwealth.
Oh,
So
yes. I heard your valiant cries to support their efforts.
we'll make sure that they don't spill the beans.
I can only control what I can control, but I sure appreciate your help.
I turn to the others and say,
Well, if they're playing now, I want to maybe dance again before we go. Just scream if there's trouble or something.
Yes. Might as well enjoy the last of it.
Big business I don't imagine that they actually have lighters.
No,
But-
probably not. Maybe candles or
Okay, so
yeah,
he
they're-
goes
yeah.
up and he looks down at a guy who has a candle and stares at the candle and just hopes that by pure intimidation that the guy will hand Big Business the candle and he'll
Yeah.
uh
And
join.
you're all welcome to join them. A bit of dancing, somebody dancing might liven the mood, and a few people do join you, though it never reaches the same celebratory state. Things are different now for Beatsville. And at the end, DJ Daddy-O says a few words, and people kind of begin to depart for the evening to go find some rest. But DJ Daddy-O promptly comes off the stage, and you see him for the first time really put the microphone attached to the speaker on his hip away. And he kind of walks over to the four of you. And he says, you know, it was pretty rad what you did back there.
What?
Standing up for those jam bakers. making sure they're not alone out there in the Commonwealth.
I wouldn't call it standing up per se.
He looks at, it's as if he looks right through all of you, like he sees something that you don't. And here, this close, you can see he has like a gold tooth and these crazy bits and baubles in the kind of hair, the braided pieces of his hair. And he says, you know, now that the jam bakers are gone, I might have to find something else to talk about. And he looks at Sister Delilah and he says, how do you feel about my broadcasts?
Well, I like your soothing voice, but also some of the broadcasts that you've put out for my church have been rather pleasant because more people can hear about it. It's very helpful.
He says, well, I'm glad you think I'm out there helping the Commonwealth. That's all I want to do. And he says, just make sure the jam bakers don't get over their heads. I have a feeling that it'll be good for people to hear their music in person. It's been good for us. And he gestures around because you can see how much they've impacted them. And he says, so I'm not here to tell you to take care of them because those cool cats are going to walk whatever road they want. But I'm here to tell you, make sure they end up in the right place and sharing what they got with the right people.
Where did they get the idea to start touring anyway?
Oh, Dead Drop Dave brought back some old newspaper he found, a bunch of junk, and they got to reading about a band had gone on tour long before the bombs dropped. Inspired, I guess you could say, by the past.
Yeah, that'll do it. Reading, it's dangerous.
He says, might be. We tend to think here that it's enlightenment. It brings something to us. But so much of what we stand for is about leaving the past behind. Look into something new. That simple newspaper poisoned the watering hole. Put an idea, seeded something in their mind, brought back the past to the present.
Are all of you from here? Born in Beachville?
Not everyone. I'd say most of us actually found our way here because we got lost. Their path led to our door, and most people come in and they don't want to leave. Warm bellies, safe place to sleep.
Did you come from outside?
I did.
How long ago?
Beatsville's been here quite a while. It started around that radio tower.
But when did you come here?
About 4 years ago, 5 years ago. I guess you could say I was a scavenger before that. Most of us were. He gestures around.
Yeah.
He says all lost things find their way to Beatsville.
Maybe Colita's husband will come here then.
He says, maybe. I'll tell you if we see him. She'll be the first to know.
I want to try and talk some sense into these jam bakers. I don't know if I can stop them trying to go on their tour, but I'll give it a shot.
Good luck.
He says, well, yeah, good luck trying. We've not had any. But doesn't mean maybe a fresh voice and a friendly face can't change something. He says, well, I am beat. I got a radio show tomorrow, and I imagine all of you are going to have to be up early to start moving their gear onto a cart. You are their groupies now, right? He kind of laughs.
Yes, we've got a lot ahead of us.
Then he
Thank
says,
you.
Yep. He says, well, sleep tight, get some food, and remember, if you get lost, you can always come back to Beatsville.
Pleasure.
And he just kind of nods and walks off, maybe whistling one of the Jam Baker songs in the air. And most of this place becomes quiet pretty quickly. The band breaks down their instruments. That's what they're doing right now because they're trying to prep them to go on a caravan for tomorrow.
I want to go talk to him.
Yeah, they're just, you can even hop on like the stage, which is a small raised platform, but they're like just breaking everything down and trying to get everything in like cases and stuff so they can pack it up onto these Brahmin. And one of them looks up at you and he says, "What you think? It's pretty dope, right?"
It's good music.
He says, "We don't got much to offer, but boy, we can offer that."
I think you've got a lot to offer.
He says, "Well, we won't know till we get out of this place," says another one of the guys who kind of finishes this sentence.
Where are you planning to take this tour?
They all kind of look at each other. "I don't know, man. We was just going to hit the road and see who needed to hear our music. You know what I mean?"
Have you ever been in the wasteland?
No, we was born and raised here.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, he says, "But we can't wait to see what the wasteland has to offer."
You can.
"Well, I guess we'll find out in the morning. Y'all better get some sleep. We got a lot of gear to move, you know what I'm saying?"
Listen, I don't think you guys know what you're getting into here. I was born in the wasteland. It's death. You go out there trying to play music, you're gonna get killed.
"Well, all of you are pretty nice. You all come from the wasteland, right?"
Yeah, and if I was smart, I'd never leave this place.
They kind of stop and look at you, and one guy says, "Well, why are you?"
'Cause I got some business to attend to.
"Does it have to do with death?"
Probably will, yeah. No, normally at this point I gesture at my gun, but then I realize I don't have it.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
They're like, "Well, we're leaving in the morning regardless." And the other guys say, "Yeah, it's time to hit the road." Feels good to say it.
And that's why I volunteered to come with you. I thought you'd probably try and go anyway. But at least, if I'm there with you, if you decide to turn back, I can help you get back.
He goes, "It's mighty kind of you to take care of us, but we know the risk. It's worth it. At least to us it is. Right, boys?" They all kind of nod. "Yeah."
What about the risk to Beatsville? You know where this place is.
"You think we're going to tell people where it's at?"
Willingly, no.
"Well, why would we tell them unwillingly?
They'll make you.
This is our home, man. I'd die before I'd tell them."
I don't think you know how cruel people can be.
"If you think you're
And
going
I
to
hope
talk
that
us
when-
out of it, you're not."
I hope that when you find out, I'm nearby.
"But you and your team seem well-traveled, right, boys?" Yeah. Well-traveled. "I bet you know exactly where we ought to go first. Where people need our music the most."
We have a to-do list.
Well,
Watch him is like running down the list of locations in his head. He's like, not really, not really. Yeah, oh wait, not anymore.
You could send them
not
to
really.
Diamond City, but it is a child, like, because of chosen choices, it is a child, like a child of Adam Haven. It's a mecha city. You could try to get them access to Good Neighbor, but that is...
I think
I mean...
No, our plan was just to keep them with us 24/7 wherever we
You're gonna
decide.
literally,
They
y'all are gonna
just
babysit the band.
Perform
Yeah.
where we go, essentially.
Yeah, essentially.
Mortimer, you do know that the Minutemen have been looking for Beatsville, probably for the band, because, soldier morale or like is a real thing, they would be safe with the Minutemen. The Minutemen aren't bad people. You just are not a Minuteman. You're not part of their faction, their organization in that way, but they're not bad people. Their entire purpose is to keep the settlement safe. You could deliver them to the Minutemen. If it's true that Mechminster Abbey is east of here towards the coastline, so is the Minutemen fort. Their home base is one of the farthest points out right here.
First place we were thinking of heading was Mechminster Abbey. So if you tag along with us there, that gives you
He goes, yo,
the first
that's
location in your
perfect.
tour.
He goes, music for all those starving people, fill their bellies with charity. I like it. And they're all like, yeah. So they're down to follow you to Mechminster.
And from there, we'll see how you feel, but it doesn't put us too far away from the Minutemen.
Okay.
They take care of you.
He goes, I can't wait for new people to hear our music. And they kind of you can tell they're really excited. And he goes, we got to get some sleep. Focus, boys. Cool. He kind of brings them back down to their like chill mode. And he puts his sunglasses on and he says, we'll see you cats in the morning.
Just don't say I didn't warn you.
Oh, I won't. He whispers on the air as they kind of turn and go to get some sleep. The llama has been watching from the corner this take place.
I'll turn away. I'll walk up to Lam and say, gave it a shot, but yeah, they're dead set.
He says you can't fight a river. All you can do is go with its flow.
I think cold hard reality might do a better job of changing their minds.
He says sometimes what we all need is a little hard-earned real-life knowledge.
I just hope they all make it back in one piece.
Me too.
Yeah, we'll take them to Mechminster Abbey. See how they feel at that point. I really hope they decide to turn back. Otherwise, we'll work out what to do. I'll do my best to keep them away from anybody that might try and get the location of Beatsville out to them.
The llama says, I'm not one to meddle in other people's business, but I suggest you take a moment to maybe speak with Dead Drop Dave. He might want to deliver a message. You to deliver a message if you're going to Mechminster Abbey.
All right. We'll
Don't
check in with
tell him I said anything. He kind of gives you these eyes of like, keep it on the DL.
All right. I'll play whatever game you're playing. We probably would have checked in with him anyway, telling him where we were going.
And you can see he's finishing up like leftovers from dinner and whatever food wasn't finished for the night, as most everybody is finding their way to sleep.
I think as food is being put away, big business is going to start stocking up for the trip out. And his only goal in Beatsville that's left is to just get as much food as they're willing to give him or trade him.
They'll have some food in the morning probably for you. That they can assure. I mean, you're going with the band. They're not going to send the band. It's like sending the hobbits out with no food. They started with all the food before the lembut spread. So
yeah.
they're going to make sure y'all are stocked at least for your first bout of travel.
Okay.
You can actually see them probably already prepping things, including bread, into like bags or small crates.
Mm-hmm.
And Dead Drop Dave's just like.
Will there be any that I excess that I could sell, like not just for us, because that's really big business's interest. Is like, yeah, well, we're gonna scrounge food for ourselves, but he wants to go to Mechminster Abbey and sell food. He wants to go to Diamond City and sell food. He wants to as much as
they might have. I mean, they're gonna send enough excess and that you could probably like sell and trade some things along the way. And remember, you could always swing back by here. Like, it literally is between here and Diamond City. It is the middle point. So now that you know where it is, you might be able to stop through more frequently and fill things up. And they don't have a lot of food access, but they have enough where on the occasion they would be able to give you some for to sell elsewhere, right?
Okay. So, like in my inventory, could I assume that I have like?
Yeah, you probably what do they have? Let me put my glasses on so I can read roll 20. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah. I will say this. Fresh bread is not something that keeps very well, but they have a shit ton of it because
Yeah.
they grow a lot of razor grain, which
Okay.
is the post-apocalyptic version of wheat, basically.
Maybe actually, in that case, could I get seeds from them?
Yeah, razor grain seeds is a great
Not
idea.
that
Actually,
it'll
they'll probably give
grow
you
the best outside, but
but it will when the storm clears, right? People are
Mhm.
going to need to try again. So, yeah, you can grab some razor grain seed and like I mean, you can actually just grab some extra razor grain crop, right? Like fresh crop.
okay.
That other people could use for things, and then like some extra bread. They'll toss some tacos and extra vegetables in.
Okay, so I'll just assume that I have like a little
Yeah,
stockpile
I
that
would say
wherever
like
we go.
yeah, say Beatsville food stockpile for now, and then we can break
Cool.
it down as you need to. 'Cause some of that you might want to give away at Mechminster, or like you said, sell.
Sounds good.
That being said, Dead Drop Dave stands there like scarfing down the last of tonight's bread rolls.
Do we want to have a conversation with Mr. Dead Drop Dave before we depart?
Sure.
He is just gnawing away. He's trying to make sure there are no leftovers, like no food wasted.
I suppose we'll walk over. How's the bread?
Oh, it's delicious. He takes another big bite.
Well, we're going to be heading out starting tomorrow.
Oh,
So
yeah.
just
I heard your big outburst, the one where you're gonna protect the band.
yes. That is the goal. We are going to make sure that they are safe during their tour.
He keeps kind of munching unceremoniously, and he says, yeah. I'll tell you,
Yep.
if there's one thing I've learned in the Wasteland, traveling by yourself's the only way to survive.
Really? Well, we've been traveling in a group so far, and it's been to our benefit.
Mm-hmm.
Good to have someone watching your back. Anyway, my plan is to keep them safe until they realize that this was all a stupid idea and they need to come home.
Because those boys are hard-headed. He takes another kind of big bite, and he says, that haircut's kind of like a helmet, you know what I mean? It doesn't get through there.
Yes. Well, it's maybe just the style of the season, I'm sure it'll change, but
Perhaps they'll need disguises, and I like look at Mason like maybe they need to blend in. The distinctive look could get them in trouble.
He says disguises, and I imagine one of the eye stalks twitch a little bit.
I'll think of a good enough excuse. We'll get rid of those bowls.
We are going to Mechminster Abbey. Dave.
Yep,
You
it's
can
nice
see
and
his
close. We've got
demeanor.
business there.
Yeah, his demeanor changes a little bit. He kind of stops munching the bread, and he, well, you, you lot have fun. Mm-hmm. Yep. If anybody wants to roll an insight on him,
yeah.
Sure.
I'll be.
Having been clued in that there's something going on.
Let's see. Yeah, he's not very good at hiding it. So you could make a this is really a speech check. It's like that would be what this is, a charisma speech. I would take a charisma speech.
I'll make one.
I'll try it for fun.
Whoa, yes.
Oof.
Yes.
Oh dear.
Oh, yes. I
Oof.
love
Oh
this.
my god.
Major. Big oofs all around.
Okay.
Not good.
Wow.
Well, the first thing I'll ask is, do you want to spend a luck to re-roll the 20 so that you don't get a complication?
Yes. Do that. Do it, big business.
Yeah, kaboom, exactly.
I'm just a little curious as to what a complication on an insight check would
Oh
be. Though.
god.
He stops chewing, he gets very quiet, and he says, well, have fun. And all of you recognize that he's hiding something, but you couldn't even begin to imagine what it could be. And he says, actually, could you deliver something for me? He looks right at big business.
What?
A letter. It's just a letter. He pulls it out of his like multicolored jacket and shows it to you. It's a handwritten letter. It's sealed. It's like closed up. And so there's a woman there. She runs the confessional. Could you deliver this to her? Please?
I just stare at him and say,
And what is my compensation?
Oh, you know what? I picked up this strange fruit, this new fruit, right? It was given to me by the Minutemen, and there's only one of them, one of a kind, really. I'll give it to you if you'll.
Show me.
Oh, okay. And he kind of switches hands and he goes into his satchel, and he pulls out a fruit. It's about yay big. It's vibrant purple. It kind of has like veining all in it, a deep purple veining, and it's got these like tendrils, which look almost like roots, but there's something about it that looks fleshy almost. It's kind of got like a weird exterior. And he says, look, this stuff, it grows in the cold. I haven't even had a chance to eat it yet. It was given to me. Here, you could have it.
Is it glowy at all?
It's not glowy.
Okay.
It's
Just
not
curious.
glowy. Does anybody have it would be Kalita. I would say Kalita's kind of witnessed most of this and took part in the party. So Kalita, her Pit Boy does not give off excessive radiation. Like it doesn't, like maybe she even waves it over. It's not irradiated. I'm happy to take some checks on this. I would take a science check. I would take a survival check, but they need to be intelligent. So it would be intelligence science or intelligence survival. I might also take intelligence medicine, but that one's a bit of a stretch. And don't forget, we have 4 AP.
okay. I will give it a shot.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay. Rolls are really bugging today. Oh, big
Not
business.
great.
Big business. Before you were big business, really, you were probably part of some kind of super mutant community, at least for a short period of time.
Right.
You know a thing or two about eating flesh. Okay? That's just part of the lifestyle. All right? There is something about this fruit that reminds you of eating an organ. It is organic. It is a fruit. It was grown on some kind of tree or plucked from the ground, but the texture of it, the veining of it is more biological than that. In fact, it's about the size of a human heart.
Business will look at
yeah,
it.
Yeah,
and
it's kind of
say,
shaped that way. It's disgusting, really.
What if I want the fruit now?
Well, he said you can have it now. As long as you deliver the letter, huh?
Deal.
Okay. He hands both of them to you. And when he puts it in your hand, big business, you rolled a survival. Something tells you should probably not eat this until you find out more. Like, survival says don't eat this.
Okay. Yeah, no, not that I was
It was
planning to.
only one success, so I will say there's also just a part of you that's like, wonder if it tastes good. It does look a little fleshy. Wonder
I
if
will smell it.
You smell it. It smells like earth, dirt, like a organic, you pick up a fruit or a tomato. Like it just has like a natural smell to it, very similar. But when you breathe it in, it's kind of cold, like breathing in cold air. He did say that this thing grows in the cold.
I will wrap it in cloth.
Oh, and I'll
safely.
say, have you ever picked up a rotten pear? You know, a pear rots from the inside out, and the skin on a pear is really thick and it keeps it in place, but it gets squishy. That's what this is like. It's like squishy on the inside, and it's got like a skin on the outside.
I will put it away and take the letter.
Great, yeah. You take the letter, and he says, "I really appreciate you doing that. I'm overdue."
You know the sisters?
Oh, I knew them. Yeah, I know some sisters. He seems a little nervous talking about
Why are
it.
you being weird
I
about
know, I'm not being
this?
weird. You're being weird.
Do you have a crush on one?
No, absolutely no.
Is that why we're doing a little delivery? Is it
I-
because you perhaps want to make good
he's
with?
no. I have some. So that is a long overdue message. I have. You should just. She can be a bit rough around the edges, so maybe deliver it with a smile.
And we do say it's from you, or is it just an anonymous delivery?
Yeah, sure. You could say it's from me. Just just if she likes it, like would you come back and tell me?
Of course. If we make it back to Beatsville, I assume we probably will at some point, but
Yeah, it's fine. I don't even care. It's fine. I don't even care.
we just have quite a laundry list of to-dos, don't we, everybody?
Bing, new side quest.
Yeah. We're going to have to start keeping a log of all of these things we have to do. We have to find a hat. We have to deliver some goods. We have to make sure this band is safe. Find Kalita's husband.
Yeah, we're looking for a husband and a father. They might be in
And
the same
a father.
place.
Oh, goodness. Yes.
It truly is a Fallout game.
Yes.
Who cares about the main quest?
All right. We'll make sure to deliver this. It shouldn't be too difficult.
He says, I really appreciate it. Truly. Well, I'm gonna get some shit. I gotta hit the road tomorrow. Got some dead drops to make, if you know what I'm saying. I'll see you later.
Thanks again for the help with finding this place. I know it was a bit of a rough, rocky start for all of us.
Well, thanks all of you for not keeping me hostage.
I'm glad it all worked out in the end.
Yeah, he
You
thinks
were a
about
good
it, the
hostage.
trauma that he'll come back to, being like run down by a super mutant and tied up and questioned by a robot. But it's fine. He'll deal with that trauma another day. And Dead Drop Dave leaves you all, and really, it's just the four of you, kind of standing in this empty, open, kind of shared space. And maybe you're having that moment of like, we have so much to do. Wouldn't it just be easier to stay here? Simple and nice, and we could start something new.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about you all, but I'm exhausted. I just feel like we have a lot on our plates. So we should probably get some rest because this might be the best rest we're going to have in a while at this place.
Yep.
Damn right.
Yep. If you were hungry, thirsty, or fatigued, all of that will clear.
Good.
You were definitely well fed, well watered, and well slept probably while you're here. And it's an odd thing not being able to see the sun come up because you don't actually know if it's morning. These people work on their own clock. We do what we do in the day, and then when it's done, it's done. But eventually you do hear the sound of kind of morning foot traffic, people maybe rising, opening their store, prepping for the day, which will probably wake most of you. And if nothing else, there is the smell of breakfast.
Yeah.
When you all come out, the jam bakers are diligently trying to like minimize, like, when you're at the airport and your luggage weighs too much, they're trying to decide what not to take. They've never been out there. They have no idea.
With Misty and Susan, the Brahmin, I'll come over and kind of look at what they're trying to pack, and I can afford to carry a little bit more if it's useful.
They might give
to
you some
the
of the
group.
food. They'll want to keep, obviously, their instruments and their clothes and
Okay.
stuff. But yeah, they'll be happy for you to carry some food because they too they have one wagon that they have. So if you wanted to
I'll-
actually hook the Brahmin up to it, you could.
Yeah, I'll hitch. the
That
Brahmin
would
up to
be
it.
super helpful. Yeah, and breakfast is kind of served, and they seem nervous to get on the road, eager in a way.
I want to seek out Muse.
Yeah, I was just thinking
Yeah,
the same
Muse
thing.
is having breakfast. She is she's found a ribbon and tied a bow at the end of her braid from the night before, and she's just quietly having breakfast and writing in her journal.
Mason's not going to take lead on this. He's stuck. Mason's in a weird point. Like he's literally spent like the last probably 30 years weaving into a night and day, like night and dark mode, right? So it's with him out of time. He's not sure he can say everything that's on his mind because everybody is listening, and he's hesitant to have some like open admittance to some questions because he can't whisper it with the confusion right now.
Yeah, it's too much. Yeah.
I will step up then and say, "Hey, Minnie, could you write out your father's name, please?"
And she pulls out a piece of paper and she writes his name down. Let me give it to you. You know that her last name is Maybe, so his name will also be Maybe. But let me make sure I give you. If I was a really mean GM, I'd write Dad.
Dad, maybe.
I'd just write Dad. No, let me give you that.
Maybe Dad.
I can do
maybe.
that. I can do that. Yeah, Dad, maybe.
I was like, "Now this kid's too smart. She's gonna know."
Yeah, she'll know her
dad's name.
for sure. She tells you that his name is, yes, here we go. Murray. Murray, maybe.
Okay, I take the piece of paper and I fold it up and put it in my pocket. And I will say, "Listen, kid. Out there, a man's only as good as his word. I can't give you my word that I can get him back, because I don't know what's going on. I don't know where he is or what situation he's in. But I will promise you that I will try and find him, and if I do, I'll send him your way."
And of course, she gets up and kind of throws her arms around you in a big hug, and she says, "Thank you." Mason, you never did look at what she gave you. Are you gonna peep it?
You probably I probably would have done it last night or when everybody
I love
was
this.
silent.
There's a cut scene while everybody's sleeping. Mason
voice.
slowly crinkles open, this piece of paper, and as you do, it's a drawing. It's a doodle, a child's doodle, but it's a drawing, and it's not bad, of you in your mask, like with a mask on, but there's a cape. She drew you as a superhero.
Oh, that's probably very special for
Mighty
him.
Mason.
That's cute.
Yeah, and she kind of, wrote probably I'm not a poet, so there's probably a cute poem at the bottom about like the Man of Steel, right? Saving the day kind of a thing. But the mask, she's not seen you in the Savoy mask, but the mask looks similar, like tied around the middle. But this time you're not a gentleman thief, you're a superhero.
and like without the mask, the character's voice slips through it, and you just hear,
This is very special. I shall keep this close. Right next to Nuclear.
When you tuck it inside your body. Yeah, and you, with the one good arm you have, you kind of reach into yourself and tuck it away in the little pouch, and we cut back to you standing there, and Muse finishes kind of giving this dense hug to Mortimer. Like, everybody has helped her, but nobody has been here, can go out and get her dad. And y'all have offered hope, where maybe she had given up on that idea. And she actually gestures for all of you to sit down and maybe have some breakfast. There's like a jam made out of, was it jazzberries? Jazzberries, I think is what they are called in Fallout. There's a jazzberries jam and fresh bread, razor grain bread.
Our last bread enjoyment before we head out, well, we might be able to take a bit with us, but we should probably savor this.
Please, inform me. I must know of the decadence.
It's like a warm hug.
I understand temperature, but not quite the sentiment of hugs.
Hmm.
You want one?
Would you?
A hug?
Big business will lean down. He's not big. He usually doesn't have to bend down like this. So the old pre-war suit that he's wearing kind of like
Yeah, you hear this seam
starts to
pull
rip
a little.
Um,
And as you hug Mason, his big bulbous body, Mason, his arm is in a sling. Remember, the one that's not working, they patched it into a sling.
mhm.
And it's between the two of you awkwardly.
You probably hear, like, as you've leaned down, just near the side of your head.
This is what warm bread is like.
It is. Do you want it tighter or not?
Oh, please, not much tighter. I'm sure this is fine. Should I? I can't reach all the way around you.
I can reach all around you.
I feel like you're muffled. Your speaker is muffled in his chest. So we're hearing your robot boy like muffling from inside of his suit chest.
Let me know when to stop.
I don't know when to stop either.
It's been a very long hug.
I'll just stand up and just be holding him.
At this
And
point,
yeah.
the jam bakers come over and they go, yo dudes, carts are packed, stuff is ready, hearts are full. Let's hit the road, you know?
Maybe on the way out you play a song. Will make people happy.
Well, won't that give away our position or something, man?
Not if you stop playing when we.
When we get to the door, right. He kind of thinks about it. He says, "Yeah, we can do that," and they'll kind of get things together. I would say, who here has the highest? I'm not gonna actually make you roll, but who here has the highest perception, standing perception?
I got 6.
Mine's very low. Mine's a 4.
We got 7.
Oh, I'm also 6.
Okay, Mason.
Yeah,
Even
and I'm
in
holding
your
Mason up.
even in your hug, you have a third eye stalk, and out of the corner of your eye, you catch Dead Drop Dave. There's actually a you had noticed it but didn't think anything about it, kind of like a porthole in one of the walls nearby here. It's got like a vault door type opening type thing, and he pops it open, and it's a tunnel just big enough for him to like get on all fours and crawl through. And he closes it behind him, and he's gone. Potentially that is the one that leads to the radio tower. He said there was a secret entrance he used.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that's not going to work for
No. Only
for
it's only
most of us.
No.
Yeah, that's why we had to come in through the front door.
Okay. Into Big Business's chest.
Remind me to speak about the wall hole thing. Yes, say those exact words. Wall hole thing.
All right. I'm going to put you down now. What if you can float, right?
I can hover, yes.
I slowly hold you out. You're maybe like 5-6 feet above the ground.
Yeah, if you let him go, it immediately kind of catches his body.
Oh, I thought you'd stay up here with me.
You could increase your thruster power to do that. I'm just
All right.
saying. But it does
we,
look like things are ready to go. If there's no business left in Beadsville, they will be
No
happy.
big business, no.
Yeah, no big business left. Then they'll be happy to take you. There is quite a bit of food. Y'all will be fine in that regard, and you have the supplies that you need, like freshly stuffed sleeping bags with old American money and like weird things, bedrolls and stuff that you don't usually have. They have all of that. And who is making our They don't know where they're going. That's for damn sure. And in fact, they didn't even realize how fucking cold it was going to be when they got out here. The
Ooh.
wind,
Oh,
it's like
yeah.
as you push that big door open and you're kind of bringing all of this up the stairs, you can hear it. The snow like at a diagonal. Tracy, it's like going to Maggie's
diangle.
wedding.
Oh God.
The trauma. Yeah, exactly.
That's a story.
I was about to say that's a story for a different day. But yeah,
That
yeah,
all of
it's
us
but-
except
yeah,
Zach. knows
except
about
for
Oh
Zach.
yeah,
So
yeah,
sorry,
that's true.
I'm actually
That's
sorry.
funny.
That was a wild experience. But yeah, it's pretty dense snow today, and like the snow falling is like ice chunks at an angle. It's like frozen rain almost. Yeah, and yeah, you all get out there and you can see immediately the jam bakers like bundle their coats up, and then the snow, the white snow is sticking to their bowl cuts. You know,
still have time to turn back now if you want.
Yep.
Yep.
No, man, we got to get the music out there, warm their souls. And all the guys are
Welcome
like,
to winter, boys.
okay.
Yeah.
You got a lot of warming to do.
They're not completely unprepared. It's not like they're underdressed or anything. I just, we're not ready. And whoever would like to make the survival endurance check will be kind of leading the party to give you
Not
your
it.
difficulty. You do not know.
I'll do it.
You have a general direction, but you
I
do
got-
not know the path.
I got 7-3 in that.
Oh, okay. You might
Um,
be better than me then.
I'm 9 and 3, but
Oh.
I
Oh.
like the
Damn.
I like the idea of Sister Delilah saying, "I'll do it."
And remember, you can always, after the roll, as long as there's a single success, people can also roll to assist and add more successes. You get one die.
I'll do the base roll.
Okay.
Can we,
Everyone.
before we make that roll, can we sort of like above board talk about this jam band plan? Because I don't know if there's a longevity in us like escorting them around. It might be best for us to find a place to drop them off. And like part of my silence earlier was thinking about the best place to drop them off. And I've got an idea, and I think it was kind of in the itinerary of places for us to go to, but I don't know if anybody else had thought of a place.
What was it came up a little bit earlier where Mortimer brought up dropping them off with the Minutemen.
Minutemen.
Yeah,
I don't know if it
Mortimer
was
plan
widely
was
discussed with the
Yeah, the
group.
Mortimer plan was set off towards Mechminster Abbey, see if at any point along that they want to turn back. And like if it's the plan is if at any point they say, "Okay, we get it, we want to go home," then we turn back and we just drop them back off at Beatsville and carry on with our business. But otherwise, the plan is go to Mechminster Abbey and then take stock there and see what we're thinking. But a provisional plan for Mortimer is take them or send them to the Minutemen base, because that's somewhere where they'd be safe.
They would be safe, you're right, unless the last son of Adam sort of had his way with things, because we know that he's not particularly a fan of the Minutemen.
Yeah.
But I don't know if any place is really safe, all things considered. They just might have more of a fighting chance there.
Yeah.
I was thinking Big Top.
The circus?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
You don't know where that is, but you have a general idea, but that is
That's-
definitely an option.
That's part of like that's part of it, right? Is that like I feel like the Minutemen base is going to be easier to locate, but like the freak show aspect of people coming and going, they may sate their needs of this tour by just having new faces cycle into their shows.
So they don't have to travel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, my thought is they're going to get up here in the wasteland and see how fucking awful it is, and they're going to want to
Yeah.
find someplace that's safer.
And they might be more like the Minutemen might have more security than the Big Top might, but
Yeah.
Yeah, you are unsure about what Big Top security situation looks like. You know what I mean?
okay.
True.
Do we have a direction at all knowing where the Big Top is? Is that like a
Yes, it is north of Diamond City.
Yeah.
okay?
In fact, if I was to give you hang on, I could probably give you, what is that area of the map called? It is, here. Let me do this for everybody at home too. So, just to give you a rough idea here. Oh, I got a little close. Here's Beatsville, right? And you can see Beatsville and the radio tower. No problem. Mechminster Abbey, you were told, is west, and you know it's in a church. This is the Minutemen Fort. This is their home base. Mortimer would be very much aware of that. It's a stronghold, and it's a very much a stronghold. Diamond City is here. If it is north of Diamond City, more than likely, because y'all already went this train track, the red line, right, is train tracks. You already went that way, and you did not see a circus, which means it is going to have to be over the river. It will have to be north up here somewhere where you don't know. I can't remember what that area is called. But I will say this, the other place that you know is a strong location for the Minutemen is Bunker Hill. For all of you Fallout fans, Bunker Hill has not fallen yet. Those events have not taken place. So it is still a Minutemen, like big Minutemen encampment.
Okay.
Actually, let me see if I can yeah, I can. I will put Bunker Hill on here as a landmark too. So there is a potential for, like, you could go up there and you would have maybe a safe haven. People can stop at Bunker Hill if you make it that far, so. Okay.
Yeah, maybe we head to Mechminster, and that we'll see on their travel there whether or not they're going to be able to handle this, and if they can, then maybe we do the big top.
It's quite a journey north, and you don't know where Big Top is, so.
Right.
Yeah, so whoever wants to make it, I will take a survival endurance. Currently, this is a difficulty probably. You don't know where you're going. Are there dangers along the way? Probably. So it's really a 3 difficulty to make this.
Okay. I will make it.
Remember, you have AP. You're at 4.
Yeah, it could spend, you can spend 1 for an extra, right?
And it'll make 3 dice.
Okay, I will do so.
And at least there's a chance of getting it on your roll and not with our...
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, so use it on yours first. Yep. So get the survival endurance in there. Okay, so you got 1 success. You can always use luck to re-roll a failure. If everybody wants to support, if you want to roll to assist, what you need to do, remember, is click your token on the left and then hit the roll to assist button in the Roll20 chat.
Doing it. Endurance, survival.
Hey, another success. That makes 2. We need 1 more.
This is my weakest area.
That's okay. The really all this is going to do is say how fast you get there, right? And I need to know: are y'all traveling?
Ooh.
Are y'all traveling slow and carefully? Are you traveling with haste? How are you traveling?
It might be best to start slow because we want to keep as low profile as possible until we're further from Beatsville.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's not too terribly hard. You had what it was told that it was a eastwardly journey. And when you come out of the other side of Big John Salvage, you can see that there is somewhat of a road. In fact, there is a pretty large landmark there. Let me see if I can tell you what that is. I'm sure I can. I'm sure I can. Let's see. That would be, because that's Jamaica Plains. There's the Rayleigh. Let's see. It's gonna probably be. Oh, it doesn't tell me. Oh, yes, it does. That is a checkpoint. Okay, so as y'all are traveling, the location there on the map that shows the star, that is a old military checkpoint. We talked about these. Remember I said, Mason, you knew that they were setting military checkpoints up kind of all over pre-bombs. This would be one of those.
Okay.
There's going to be those concrete barriers that they set up. It would have been like a hold point where they check people's IDs and, all of the above. This is just what's left of it. Probably a small outpost station. Nothing really to note.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, it's almost not even really worth mentioning other than just kind of passing through.
Unless y'all want to scavenge while you're coming through.
Yeah, it might just be a scavenge place.
I would like to.
It is a survival endurance to scavenge.
I will make the check.
I'll try.
Go.
All right.
Dose.
Nice.
Hey,
Oh.
loving all of this. Okay, so
Uh-oh.
let's start with 2 successes. 2 successes means you can pull 2 from the loot deck and
Okay.
4 from the junk deck. Doubles.
Great. I also have a perk that says it's can do. When you're scavenging a location that could contain food, you gain 1 additional random food item without spending AP.
Okay, fantastic.
So should I do what you said and then go to like the food?
Yeah, more than likely
section
what'll
of the book
happen
or
is
something?
if you pull a food card
I get 2
from
of
the
it.
loot, I'll just give you double, and if you don't, we'll
Right.
assign you something.
Okay, sounds good.
Same thing, Sister
Okay,
Delilah. You
so-
can pull 2 loot, 4 junk.
Cool.
Yep. Mason,
let's
would you
see.
like to re-roll the 20, or do you want to keep the complication?
Okay.
I'll keep the complication. He just finds he finds trouble. This happens.
I love this. This is perfect. This is a great location for trouble. You find
Should we just draw them from the deck like that, or like drag them onto our sheet?
You want to drag them out into the playing area so that you know
Okay,
what's
got it.
yours, and then you can select it. If you right click and take card,
Got it.
it'll put it in your inventory. So it looks like you got some purified water and a stim pack. So we'll say you find 2 things of purified water.
Sounds great. I will gladly do so.
Yes, I think I might have drawn that one, but that's okay.
That's
okay.
Yeah, keep drawing.
I
Keep
thought
drawing.
I thought I did too.
No, all good.
Okay.
Let me see.
You can draw some more cards there, Tracy. So draw 2 more
Yeah,
cards.
draw 2. Here we go. Let's try that. Did that? Oh,
I
maybe
put it
that
in your
one-
loot.
Oh.
You got a first aid kit and spike knuckles.
Oh, neat.
There
How
you
did
go.
you find that? Oh
Okay.
yeah, I see.
Look on
I
your
see.
name. Yeah,
There you
click your,
go.
Yep.
click your cards.
Nice. The first aid
Got
kit's
it.
great.
Okay.
Okay.
The same thing with junk. If you see where it says deal. If you click when you hover over it, it says deal. If you click deal, you can just select how many cards it puts direct into your hand. So you can say, I want 2 from this deck or 4 from this deck.
2.
Yep.
Yep.
So for the junk deck, you both got 4.
I got a gold
Okay.
watch, burnt magazine, and let me.
I got a ladle.
I love it.
Yay.
A golf club and a cigar box.
There you go.
Neat.
Take just some junk. Maybe you can trade it. And
Mhm.
remember, junk
Yeah.
has high value at Beatsville specifically.
We love junk here.
Mason,
Wonderful.
you
Great.
keep the
Yes.
complication. While you're searching about, you do in fact find something. A mini nuke.
What?
Oh,
It's a small. Let me show you. It is specifically. I don't know how many of you might have actually seen one in action. Ideally, you don't. Do they have a picture of it? They don't. I'll send you one. The mini nuke is about the size of a football. It is a nuclear bomb device that is loaded into something called the Big Boy. That gets launched. It gets punted like a football to cause a small nuclear explosion. It is actually ammo for a specific gun, but it is a nuclear bomb.
I believe I found a nuclear device.
You found a what?
what?
A nuclear device.
Let me see it.
You come over. It is sitting in the arms of a skeleton who was clearly, like when it died, was holding it. And it's green. It has a yellow band around it. And it's football size.
You can tell it's a nuclear device by the way that it is.
Yes, this is sacred.
Sacred?
We should hold on to it. Might I take it?
No, I'd rather you not.
Yeah, dangerous is what it is.
Yeah, it is used in a gun that is pretty much banned by the Minutemen called the Fat Man.
Mm.
Yeah, put that glow must flow emote there in chat.
Please, it is not every day you find something this rare and meaningful. This is
I agree, this might have significant trade value.
I don't know if we should trade it. I think we should hold on to it.
I will say, big business. You've seen these before. The occasional super mutant will use them to level a building.
Yeah, we could use this.
I kneel down to pick it up.
Mason, you saying we shouldn't use it? Or-
I suppose if the opportunity rises where we must fight, then we could use this.
Just be careful with it.
Just be gentle. Cradle it like an
Yeah.
infant.
What would there be a would I have knowledge on how to handle this properly? Would that be a certain
it's
skill?
technically
Like
stable.
big
Like
guns?
it is a big. It would be ammo for a big gun. So
Okay.
let me see.
or
Could it-
explosives, probably.
It's probably too big to fit in the cigar box, right? Like we
It-
could put
it-
it.
it absolutely is.
It's just a big,
Gigantic
big
cigar box.
cigar box. You never know.
Absolutely is. Let me see.
Yeah.
if
Cigar
I
crate,
can
maybe.
Find Joel.
I found a
Oh.
cigar skid.
I can
Uh,
tie it on to the Brahmin and maybe cover it so it's not like we just literally have a nuke
Yeah.
visible hanging
Yeah, you could put it on the
No.
Brahmin instead.
from. Okay. And I'll say,
Don't worry, Misty. It's okay.
Misty?
Yeah,
I point at one of the two cowheads.
Misty and Susan.
Ah,
yeah.
yes.
She has a pink tie. Susan has a blue tie.
Yes, yes. Of course.
I adjust their pre-war ties, which are dusty and tattered.
Well, big business, just that is a important relic that you're holding. So please make sure that you keep it safe.
Of course.
That's all I request.
You want to carry it yourself?
Well, I do realize it's rather large and you are rather large, so perhaps it would be best in your keeping. Because
What do you do with a holy relic? We just use it to blow shit up.
well, for now, it really depends on when the moment feels right for us. It's faith, that thing that I tried talking about earlier. When this could be another sign, and when the time feels right,
We
we will know.
blow it up.
I can't say for sure.
Wow.
He looks at it.
What other use? All right, I'll trust you. But
It's-
let me know when your faith goes off or something.
Yes, I
Your
will.
faith goes off. And as you tuck this mini nuke away tightly in the net with all your other junk on the back of a Brahmin, you're able to kind of pass this checkpoint. And you hit an area where you can begin to see what was probably a small town, a little suburbia area that had buildings pre-war and those kinds of things. The it's getting denser, right? The structures are, and you see some pretty large buildings. But off in the distance, your attention is drawn, for all of you, to kind of light popping on the horizon, which usually means there's gunfire. And in the silhouette of that light, you can see just the steeple of a church.
And there's
they in trouble?
gunfire. Yeah. You saying you're seeing light as well?
Yeah, you're seeing like light popping on the horizon, like gunfire, and it's lighting up the silhouette of the church in the distance. It's over here.
Is it does it seem like that light popping is on ground level or
Yep.
within the
It's
steeple
on
of
ground
the-
level. It's like
Okay.
flashing the light upward.
Okay, got it.
Let's move. Jam bakers, stay behind us,
What?
out of sight.
What? Okay. And they kind of bundle up and they try to kind of keep pace. As you try to pick the pace up, and as you kind of crest through this town and you come up over the hill, what you witness is a church where the cemetery that was attached to it and the church itself are one of the only full buildings left standing. And it actually sits by the water's edge. What the back of the building is on the water's edge. And the whole of the church has been surrounded by a junk fence, like a protective type fence. And one of the pieces is burning and has collapsed. And there are these, you can barely see them, but there are these white feral ghouls that are actively attacking. You can see their body, some of them are already dead, but the people inside the church are firing out of like windows and stuff, little hatches that lift up in the junk fence. They're trying to keep the ghouls off the settlement.
I'm
How
gonna
many
join the
ghouls?
fight.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll let each of you take a combat action. They looks like they're pretty close, but they have them like pinned in, and now that the wall is opened up, the feral ghouls can get into.
I think like as soon as I've got like vantage point, I like hit the dirt, pull out the rifle, and start like
Yeah, go ahead and just fire off
taking aim to
a
snipe 'em.
shot. Make a nice attack roll there. Oh, no successes. We're
Messed
at
it up.
3 AP.
Ooh.
Anybody else want to take a shot? Fire something, do something?
Big Business would love to rush forward with his briefcase and yell and say, "Hey!" And
This
then
ghoul turns, and
yeah.
you see it. Its teeth have been frozen over by water, and it's elongated them into these fangs like icicles. And its face, as it squeals, and you cracks with
I
ice.
just take my weighted briefcase and sock it over the head with the briefcase.
Go ahead and make an attack roll with your briefcase. 2 successes. Roll damage. Hit the blue button.
And let's see. So my briefcase has 5 damage that comes with it, and then also I think a character adds a certain amount of dice for how much strength they have.
So you should, on your character sheet where your weapon is listed there, right beside it, there is actually, it says damage. So your board is 4. The T
and the briefcase on my character sheet is 5 as well. That's just the default for the weapon itself, but then there's a rule with strength where, like, if you have 11 strength,
yeah, I wonder if I
you
can
get
alter
to add
it to be
+3.
Oh yes, you're right. Okay, I wonder if I can. Well, then just hit the damage on both of them. Just hit them one at a time, and it'll roll them. Yeah, it'll roll each section. So it'll roll the first 4, and then
I
the
can
other
just
5.
do.
You can also do custom damage die in the top left.
Yeah, here I'm gonna try rolling damage and then add the 3 additional dice for my strength, which would be that.
Yeah, you knock the feral ghoul's head clean off. It splatters. Actually, it kind of shatters like ice. It
Cool.
was,
That's what I was going for.
phew. You hear somebody from inside the church, a female voice, yell out, "There's a super mutant!"
I yell up, "I'm helping!"
Firing continues. Anybody else want to take action?
Yes, I will follow I will follow Big Business a little. Well, I'm not going to get too far. I think Mortimer is probably a bit behind with his rifle.
Yeah, because he's keeping distance for his long range. Yeah,
I close the distance a bit, but I'm not quite as close as Big Business. And I shoot one next to the one that he was attacking with my gamma gun.
Okay.
Let's. Oh.
Another 2 successes. Roll 4 damage.
Okay. Let's do that.
Okay. 1 radiation damage. You see it heal.
Take radiation damage.
You see it heal the ghoul.
Ooh.
Crap.
Oh, no.
And you realize, because like one of its arms that was like barely hanging on, the ice like grows up this frost feral and like it reattaches its arm, and it as it starts running in the fence. Mason, would you like to do anything?
Oh dear.
Nope.
Well, that didn't work.
I look over at Sister Delilah and say, "Don't do that."
I apologize.
The frost. I love that it was like that moment after you're like,
yeah, that's what I
did I do that?
The moment you realize, yeah.
And the frost feral that you heal, it is a feral ghoul, which means it has no concept of help. Regardless, turns to you, Sister Delilah, and begins to like run at you. And right as it goes to jump, I mean, it is going to eat your face with frozen icicle teeth. A shot comes from the church and blows its head off, shattering ice body chunks all over it. Its body flops to your feet just before it would have jumped on you.
I look up.
You look up and see this old, I would say older, she's middle-aged woman, rather beautiful actually, with a gun in her hand. She wears a robe and she's pointing out of one of the upper floors of the church and has shot this creature.
Oh. It looks like we have help, big business.
Yeah,
A
they're
flap
shooting.
opens up, and more of these women dressed in like black robes begin firing a variety of weapons out. Everybody gets one more round of combat action if you would like it.
How many ghouls are left?
There's only about 2 or 3. They killed the majority long before you got here.
Okay.
That's
Oh,
more like it.
that's what we needed to
Oh,
see.
Four
let's go.
successes.
So for the additional 3, you can choose to just do 3 additional damage if you want, Mortimer. So roll your damage, and you can add basically
do it.
3 at the end in addition. They have no armor, so you only need 1 success to hit them. Oh yeah, 9. Yeah, you blast one,
Amazing.
and it dies. Done.
Had to prove myself after the first
Yeah.
miss. I take the first
Yeah.
shot, and it looks like it's lined up perfectly, but it like completely misses, and I'm like, oh damn! I knocked the sight when I put it in the
Yeah,
bucket.
or like you forgot to account for like the wind variation today or something on your sniper, and so like you adjust, and this time you nail this creature, just like knock it. And it was one that was about to run into the gate, and it was running so fast when you hit it with the bullet, its dead body slides across the ice and like skids, leaving a little bit of a mark in the ground.
I will move to another one and just overhead smash down to try to squish
Give me
its
another
whole body.
briefcase. Yeah,
That's
critical
3
success. You also can do 2
successes.
Wow.
extra. Nicely done. Let me go ahead and roll damage, and then we'll add 2 at
Okay.
the end on top of what you've done. 7.
Okay.
Yeah, another
Ooh.
one. You just hit it, and it goes flying, and it smashes into a somewhat nearby building, or like what's left of a brick wall, and you can hear it the whole what time it's flying. It's still reaching for you. It hits the wall, goes limp, and slides to the ground.
Cool.
I may not do anything, just because I really only have the gamma gun. I have a switchblade. I don't know how. I don't feel. So
Yeah.
Sister Delilah doesn't feel confident running up to a feral ghoul.
Well, Sister Delilah, as you're like, well, I can't hit it with this gamma gun, and you're kind of looking around to see if there are any more. You feel a cold hand on your ankle, grabs it, and out of the snow, like a feral ghoul has probably like lost half its body, and it has crawled, and it's now got your ankle.
Never mind. I take my switchblade and stab it in the hand.
Amazing. Give us the roll.
Hey!
Let's
Nice.
go.
Crits all around.
Roll the damage. You'll get 1 extra. Yeah, so 2. You put this switchblade right in its skull, and it's the sound of an ice pick going into an ice bucket, breaking up a chunk of ice. It's that hard metal on cold surface as it breaks through, and you can see its jowl like dislocated as it's like, and it dies, mouth agape, ready to bite the meat of your leg.
Oh. And yeah, Sister Delilah just like takes that moment of
And there's,
panic
like-
and calms down a bit.
There's like a moment
Mm-hmm.
where there is a quiet that settles, and everybody's like waiting to see if any of them get up. And from around the corner walks the woman who you saw, Sister Delilah. She's in this robe. She's actually kind of large in stature. She's a tall woman, broad shoulders. And from around her neck hangs a sea wrench, long, on kind of a rosary beaded set. And she has a pipe pistol in her hand. And she looks at all of you, looks at the super mutant like, is this going to be a problem? And then she sees the symbol on your vestments, Sister Delilah. And she says very calmly, "We appreciate your help, but we cannot let a child of Adam on our sacred grounds."
Sister Delilah just like looks at them. And is there any reason why we are on peaceful terms here?
Maybe you are, but we are not at peace with the children of Adam, not after what they're doing to the Commonwealth.
The children of Adam are doing nothing harmful. They are simply trying to exist in peace and exist in religious freedom within the Commonwealth. Just like you. Just like you are.
My friend Delilah here comes from a somewhat isolated sect. I know that there have been issues between the Sons of Atom and various settlements recently, but I can assure you that Delilah has had no part in them.
She kind of stops. I will let one of you make a charisma speech check.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Let me
You want to
see.
give that a go?
Yes, I think I will, because it is a tagged one for me.
If it
Okay,
looks
good.
like I'm gonna say if it looks like the tensions are high and there's that pregnant pause, then Mason would definitely step up.
Okay, one success. She says, "All right." And she says it loud enough because she wants everybody to hear. "I will allow you to come in, if only to answer your question. When you talk to the people in here, inside of Limbo, ask them if the children of Adam have done them harm. Ask them how many loved ones have been lost to his recruitment efforts. And then you can tell me, child of Adam, if your faith still stands. We will kill you on sight if we see you preaching your words inside of our walls." And she kind of looks around you to see 4 terrified little jam bakers. And she says, "As for the rest of you, including the super mutant, you're welcome to stay. As long as you can find space." And she turns around. You can tell she's tired. This is a woman that serves people all the time. Her job is charity. And she's tired and cold. Her vestments are torn. She's got blood all over them from this battle that y'all only caught the end of. You can see the bodies of other people lying around. It wasn't just ghouls that were dead.
As she's walking away, Big Business will call after her and say,
I have food. Too.
She turns around actually with a smile on her face and she says, "Wonderful. Do you hear that, ladies? Sounds like we're having fresh pew stew tonight." And a few of the ladies laugh. And she says, "Bring your Brahmin in. They'll find a resting spot near the back."
Okay.
And she looks, disregarding all of you, the rest of, and she looks to her crew and she says, "The rest of you, get this fence built back up as best as you can. Let's hope more of them aren't coming." And people begin working. They listen to her word like it is law. And not a single person stops working to greet you. Most of these women here are in the same kind of black robes of some way, shape, or form. They all wear a wrench around their neck, and they are actively trying to rebuild the wall, move the ghoul bodies to the outside. But they let you through first, obviously, before they barricade it up.
All right, then perhaps I look to the group. Perhaps we get done with the business we need to get done here, and then we continue on our way. They don't seem like the most friendly group.
They seem nice to me.
I think they've just got a lot on their plates.
Yes, so if we wouldn't mind just making haste here, I would rather be continuing on the road after this.
The jam bakers are a little shell-shocked. It's the first combat they've probably ever seen, violence that they've had to witness firsthand. But as you kind of enter the interior perimeter of the gate area, you can see that there is a cemetery off to the left. That's where kind of you can see there's a bathtub where they've put Brahmin feed that you can kind of deliver the Brahmin. And the church doors stand open. And on the inside, as you all kind of walk up the steps into the main chapel area, there are a few things. The warmth is undeniable. You can feel it before you ever cross the threshold of the door. The pulpit of this church has been converted into a massive forge. The fire burning all the time. And all of the church pews still stand kind of in rows. And the main area of the church has become a refugee camp, basically. They call it Limbo. But it is a space where people are camped out under the benches, on top of the benches, and this place is packed with sick people. They're coughing, emaciated people fighting frostburn and frostbite. These people are suffering. This is a last refuge for these people, and it is overpopulated. And as you walk in and you can see the woman who greeted you and spoke to you now back at the forge, speaking to someone else. We're going to take a quick break because I actually moved our break, and we'll be back and we'll find out what's going on here at Mechminster. All right, everybody, stand by. We'll be back in 10 minutes. Hello, everybody, and welcome back from break. We rehydrated and got food, and it's just now getting cold here, which seems maybe like the right season to be running Winter of Adam, y'all. I actually got to wear a sweater today. It's very exciting. Very
Nice.
exciting time for us. Wintertime, praise be. Let's roll back in. So basically, you're standing there at the entrance, and I will take a intelligence medicine from anybody that feels like it might be relevant to their skill set. If it's not, that's cool. You can also make a survival perception check. It'll be a custom roll. But I will also take that to some degree.
What was the second one?
Survival perception.
Perception. Yes, thank you.
I see.
I've got 2 rank in medicine, but my intel is quite high.
You could make it. Make the
I could
check.
try.
Yeah.
I could try.
The medicine check will give you very different
I'll give medicine a go. It's a worse roll for me, but I feel like because it's more relevant, it makes
I
sense.
mean, who knows? Don't forget you have AP. We have 3 AP.
Completely failed.
Okay. Well, Mason, I'm going to say everybody rolled and nobody really rolled as a success, but Mason, right? Yeah. Okay. Mason. People are sick here. Like there is sickness in this place. Most of the sickness is from malnutrition, the cold, pneumonia. There's a lot of coughing. But you pick up on something different, and I'm trying to figure out how you would recognize this. But there is clearly, from people's health, an abundance of chem use here. Maybe not out in the open, and maybe not talked about. But when you live in a crowded slum like this, with little to no food and only shelter over your head, much as we're finding in Good Neighbor, chems can be an alternative to survival. Not long term, but it sure does take away the hunger for just a little bit. And there are a lot of people here that seem to be suffering from drug use, which isn't helping with their health in any way.
Sure.
You can see the baggy eyes, the scratching of the skin, the drying of around the mouth from the jet, those kinds of things. It's obvious.
Okay. I think there's a strong chance that he would, before diving into integration, pull Mortimer to the side to just kind of let him know that it looks, there's some telltale signs of drug use. He's not sure exactly which, but just reading the room, you can see some of the visible diagnoses of drug abuse.
Mortimer, now that it's pointed out, it's a little bit more obvious.
I can't blame them, but it can't be doing them any favors.
It's very clear there's not enough food. You don't know what pew stew is, but you can see that these people, they're set up between the pews, like I said, on them, under them. They have these tiny, tiny little fires. They build these little tiny fires, and they put small pots and things over them to cook what little they have. A visible representation of how little food they have.
Well, we're looking, Mason, we're looking to fix you up. Maybe we can offer them some of our food and supplies in exchange for help. It looks like they need it.
I admire your desire to improve my status and situation in this world, Sister Delilah, but I do not want to weaken the resolve and successes of our endeavors, even if it means at my own suffering.
This group seems like they might be one of our only chances in a while for assistance. I'm
Mayhaps
just saying.
I lend my own services. Perhaps they desire a fresh updo, or maybe an opportunity to speak of some things on their minds.
That probably might also be a nice change for them. Perhaps we can find the leader of this place, if they even have one.
You hear the woman who spoke to you outside turn around, and from the pulpit with this forge burning behind her, she stands up and she says, Well, don't be a back row faithless. Come on, step inside.
I think we may have found them.
Yes. Step forward toward them.
As you cross down the center aisle, it's the same thing, pew after pew. There are a lot of people here, and there are a lot of people suffering here, and maybe not purposefully, it's just cause and effect. And as you get close, you can feel how hot this fire is, how big it is. You can see some of the other sisters here kind of tapping away on metal with an active forge. And this woman, as you get close, she kind of smiles cheekily at all of you, and she says, I'm the Reverend Riveter.
Reverend Riveter. It's a cool name.
Pleasure to meet you.
You as well. I'm guessing you're seeking shelter. We do appreciate the help outside. I apologize for my distaste, and she looks at Sister Delilah, but some lines are drawn not in just sand, but concrete.
I understand, but appreciate you allowing myself and my companions in regardless.
She says, who knows? Maybe it is time for me to try to convert some of you, she says with a bit of distaste. She says, welcome to Mechminster Abbey. I see that you've brought some lost souls with you. And she almost laughs at the 4 men that have come in the door with you. She says, dare I ask what has brought you this far east?
Well, Reverend Riveter, a most unexpected delight to meet someone in the wastelands of such unwavering faith and virtue amidst the chaos. Allow me to introduce myself first. Mason, at your service. Once humble keeper of coiffures and confidence, and now I find myself navigating the tangled locks of destiny itself. The individuals behind us, patrons of creation themselves. Not unlike yourself, entirely. They make music as opposed to metal.
Oh. She says, well, I guess there is a place for everything in the Commonwealth. And she looks at them and she says, it's been a long time since we've had music here in this place. She almost laughs as if like there's not even a pulpit anymore, right? It's been redone. And you can see the upstairs because it's actually the center of the room is hollow. The upstairs is just a balcony that goes all the way around the perimeter of this square open church space. It's where you would have set people upstairs and maybe put the choir. There's a variety of things you could use it for, but that's how the second floor is open to the first floor, and you can see all the way up. And then there's clearly a small room that has a flight of stairs that go up to the standing steeple. And she says, well, space is limited, but it's not our way to turn people down, especially when they are in need, and you all look like you are desperately in need. And she says, I would like to say dinner is served soon, but unfortunately right now, food is low. If you are willing to help us, I imagine the people here would be very grateful for warm bellies.
Well, my friend here is a trader, and we do happen to have a little bit of food in stock.
Well,
She
not
says-
a little bit, a lot of it, actually.
She says, well, I will be honest, we are low on caps.
Do
I guess you could
have
say the Commonwealth isn't
anything to
feeling very
trade?
charitable right now. Oh, trade. We are craftswomen. She kind of points around. It is
Oh.
what we do.
I point at Mason.
We give you food, you help him.
I point at his arm.
She looks at you and says, oh, I unfortunately can't help you with that, but you would want to go upstairs and see Sister Amos Nishan. I'm sure she'll be happy to allow you to shop.
Very well. I'll see to Miss Nishan.
Does this reverend look like the individual described to us by
Did I drop Dave?
Yes.
He mentioned a confessional person.
Yes.
right, the confessional person?
Yes.
Okay.
That
Got it.
This does
was like,
not look
man,
like her.
He was into the head Reverend, I'm like, oh man, good luck.
Good
But
luck
okay,
with
that's
that.
good. Yeah, okay.
That doesn't seem to be the case. But
Got it.
she kind of smiles in that knowing way when a teacher recognizes opportunity in a pupil, right? Like she sees good in all of you, or she would not have let you in. But you have a lot to learn in her eyes, and she watches you as you leave. You can only really see her silhouette against this hefty fire of the forge, which at least these people do not sleep in the cold. And you take a flight of stairs up to the second floor, and what you find up there is, in fact, a confessional booth sitting next to a weapons shop with kind of a mechanical bench nearby. And there's a hefty woman, large of frame, voluptuous in nature, and she's wearing a pair of overalls underneath her open sister robes. She has a massive C-wrench around her neck, and she's currently leaning on a hefty forearm, kind of on the counter she has set up here.
Nothing better than a battle nun in overalls in their habit.
Hell yeah.
And she...
Excuse me, are you, Miss Amos Nishan?
Yes, I am Sister Amos Nishan. She kind of looks at all of you and she says, "Oh, this is gonna be fun."
Sister Nishan, I am Mason, and these are my comrades, allies, and we've found ourselves in a bit of a delicate situation. I was hoping, under the guise and guidance of the Reverend Riveter herself, she told me to seek you on the second floor of this parsonage, seeking your counsel. See, my battery has begun to falter, a slow and steady decline, and it's left me not quite the machine that I once was. My once boundless energy now dwindles, and certain performance aspects have grown, shall we say, unreliable.
She looks at you like almost through you, and she says, "I see. Well, then you can be the first to confess your sins. That is the only form of payment I take. Well, that and secrets."
Oh, we don't just deal in caps and...
Caps are cheap, and the wasteland is not. Secrets get you much farther. And sometimes we all need a chance to confess our sins. And she gestures to the confessional booth.
Oh, no.
Mason slowly hovers inside. This is going to be the worst confession ever because they're not going to hear her. They're just going to hear Mason yelling inside the booth.
Mason, as you kind of scutter in, she looks at all of you and she says, "I don't know. Think on it." And she smiles. Like, she loves getting people this way. And you lot, you're a unique bunch to be walking up to confess something. So she walks into the other side of the confessional and she pulls the curtain and slides the little box open, Mason. And she says, "Mason, do you have something you want to admit? Share?"
This is my first confession, and I have struggled to admit things that I am unaware of. However, I must admit that I have come to the conclusion that there is a spark or a shard split in my own personality. I found myself at a crossroad, one where my interest belies my true nature, my desires. I find that funny, sister. Is it strange to find a Mr. Handy with desires?
I guess it's not really my place to tell you what's strange and what's not. I've seen a lot of things in the wasteland. You won't be the first robot to work outside its programming.
I was established and located in a barber shop to offer my services for the many and the few before the bombs dropped. My goal was to offer those a chance for a smoother, sleeker tomorrow. And once the bombs fell, the patronage of my humble abode and barbershop, my place of employment. It fell drastically. I was alone for many years, left to simply tidy my belongings, my workspace. And now, I have since developed a shadow. Someone who lurks within me, and desires to come out only at night. And I hold very little control over them. And they sin, sister.
Wow, that's juicy. Alter personality, out there doing bad, while during the day you're out, what, doing good?
I try to offer my services to those, bring about a smile, a sleek and smooth coiffure to offer them confidence in their every move.
Have you asked yourself, Mason, why would you, a robot, need to develop a second personality to answer for a lack in your programming?
I don't have to ask myself that, sister. When you have been alone as long as I have, some things become transparently clear.
What makes something broken, Mason?
When it fails to operate at full capacity.
Well, a machine cannot be broken and still function, though not at full capacity. Broken means something that needs to be fixed. Just because you have changed does not mean you are broken.
Are you suggesting that the shadow that dwells within me is a truth that wishes to come out? It's a part of myself, and it's not actually faulty.
I'm telling you that everything in the world needs balance. Maybe whatever this dark, shadowy side is just the yin to your yang. It is balance. So instead of fighting against it, why not work with it? Become one of a whole of a more balanced person.
Sublime. I understand why you've been appointed to this position. I shall seek this, develop this fortitude, and welcome the shadow upon the world. It sounds bleak, but I assure you it isn't.
You see, here at the Abbey, we worship fire, warmth, light. Not Adam's glow, but true fire. Every fire gives off a shadow. Think on it, Mason. When I come out, I'll be happy to both fix that poor arm and recharge your battery.
Thank you, Sister Nishan.
You are so welcome. Do you think the rest of your party is going to be as honest?
I don't know.
I feel that. And she kind of opens it up and comes out, and she kind of has to come out sideways based on her size, and she stands up and she stretches like, that was felt, it's just been a while since I've had to stretch my... And she says, all right. So what is it?
Do I come out now?
Or secrets? Oh, yes, you're done, Mason.
Oh, good. Sure everyone heard that. I'm not embarrassed, you are. This is who I am now.
From upstairs, you hear a small, kind of tiny explosion, like an electrical, like poof, kind of noise, and then you hear this like, and there's like clattering of metal and stupid, and you see Amos Nishan like taking a deep breath to find her zen, and she says, "I'm so sorry. It's one of our more eclectic sisters." She kind of says with a little bit of disdain, and she says, so who's next? Or unless you're not buying, of course. Which is fine, you're welcome to browse for free.
Well, I normally don't take part in confessionals of other religions, but I suppose for the sake of, how about this as like a sign of peace amongst each us?
Oh, this will be interesting. Come, I look forward to a confessional from a child of Adam. Have a seat.
Boy. Okay. I go into the little confessional booth.
She pulls the same thing, pulls curtains, pulls the box open, and she says, do you have something to confess or something you want to share?
Well, I figure this is a good place to share some personal things, be open. The truth is, I have been questioning some aspects of my faith. Not the faith as a whole. Faith is very important to me, but there are some aspects of it that I feel are not aligning with my worldview.
Which is?
It's in particular to this Messiah that my brothers and sisters speak of, this last son of Adam. It in the words that I've heard on the radio and the speakings, they do inspire me. But then I hear from people, I hear from stories of those who have come and encountered this last son of Adam, and that is where there is conflict with my beliefs and what I believe being a child of Adam is. It doesn't align.
It sounds to me like you've been putting too much faith in words, not actions. We here at the Abbey don't have written propaganda or words of faith scribed into some stone where people can come read it and worship it. Everything that we do is about action. We show people our faith through the doing. And if this last son of Adam, as he calls himself, is in fact the leader of this flock, but his words are empty, then his actions are all he has to speak for him.
That is something I have thought as well. And I worry for my brothers and sisters. They've made their way to Diamond City, and I worry that they're continuing to spread this word, and more of my brothers and sisters will be led astray because of it.
So what are you going to do about it?
I think your words are true. It's not about the words, it's about the action. I think somebody needs to take a stand and show them that we can be true in our faith, but don't have to follow somebody who it might be a false prophet.
Then do yourself a favor. Rid yourself of the weight of that patch you wear. You can adorn all the iconography that you want, but it's not going to sell what you're putting out. More importantly, if you want to truly help people, what difference does it make what symbol you wear? Free yourself of it. You may find you are soon stronger than you think and can bear the burden once again. You're done. Bye-bye.
She takes a quick nod at that, opens the curtain, and walks out. And she looks at the rest of the group almost like there's a guilt on her face or something. I don't know if she feels free, like that. There's a lot of conflicting emotions. So she looks at the rest of you.
You come out a little different than Mason, right? Like,
yeah,
you got a different piece of confession.
Anybody else?
She steps out. She looks. She says, "So is it going to be you?" And she looks up, kind of dreamily, at the tall, super mutant. And then she looks at our handsome sad boy Mortimer, and she says, "So, who's it going to be?"
Booth is a little small for me.
Oh, that's okay. I think you and I can always find somewhere else to confess things.
Okay. I don't know. I don't really regret anything.
Well, that's a strong statement. Do you have any secrets? I also trade in those.
Um. mm, Uh. I have some secrets that aren't mine. I shouldn't tell you them.
Well, that is kind of par for the course. It's what makes it a secret. But if you tell me, I'll be happy to let you browse anything in this shop.
I look around. What is in this shop?
All kinds of stuff. Really strange, like handmade weaponry. You can tell that they've been doing their own gunsmithing here, so they've been able to piece together some pretty advanced weaponry. And I don't mean like electronics. I mean like some really nice weapons. She has one on the wall that I don't know that any of you have maybe ever seen before. Maybe Mortimer, but the only person that definitely would have is you. She has a weapon called the junk jet. It's sitting in the corner at the moment. She's got a lot of robot parts. You can tell she's a tinkerer and probably very much a mechanic. Pieces of old cars, parts, baubles, nuts and bolts. Like, this is her work. You basically walked into her shop/workshop.
I'll think about it.
I look down at Mortimer.
She looks over at Mortimer kind of like,
Mortimer's eyeing all these guns.
Yeah. She could probably also mod weaponry, you imagine.
Does a bigger confession give you a better gun?
It gives you more of my effort.
All right, let's give it a shot.
She smiles like, yeah, I got one more. And she lets you into the booth. Same process, curtain, door. You gotta confess or you got a secret?
I'm fairly short on secrets, and they all are important ones. I can confess.
All right, confess it is. What do you, a man of the Commonwealth, have to tell me that I might not already know about men of the Commonwealth? And Mortimer, you just get this little, like, there's thing there. She's got a problem with at least a certain man who you don't know.
Okay. Who's got that letter again? Someone's got that letter in their pocket.
I think I do.
You do.
Okay, we'll get to it. Well, it is about a man.
Oh?
Usually is.
Yes.
There was this man, a leader. He spoke a lot of hope of building things. It sounded like something better. I believed in it, as everyone ends up sooner or later. I worked for him. I did as instructed. He had a lot of enemies. I ignored what those enemies said. I did what I was told. Till he didn't have that many enemies. And after a while, I realized nothing had been built. One day, when I'd earned his trust, and he had burned mine, I killed him.
Now that is a confession.
His people would have hunted me from Land's End to John O'Groats, so took a boat, ended up here. I do odd jobs. I try and do good things. And I avoid working for people, no matter what they promise.
So what do you believe in, Mortimer?
Same thing as before. Building.
And so you do that at the back end of a gun.
There's more people like him out there.
If you spend all of your time destroying things, when do you have time to build something?
That's what I'm trying to work out. I figure there can only be so many bad guys. Maybe I'm wrong.
It's a rather naive viewpoint for a man who was, well, comes from a pretty hefty background. You and I both know there will always be a bad guy. Always.
Maybe there always needs to be someone to stop him.
Maybe there does. But where are you of most use, Mortimer? Violence for the sake of violence is just trying to build a house out of ash and blood. It's impossible. Think about it. If you're going to build something, what are you building it out of? If it's only ever violence, then you will always be running from the man that you killed. Maybe it's time to face it. Stop for a second. Stop running.
Maybe you're right.
Maybe I am. Sometimes I just like to talk to people.
That sort of cheapens the whole thing, but do I get a gun now?
She lets out a really hearty laugh and she says, yeah, we can talk about your guns. And she kind of slides the window closed and steps out, and she cracks her shoulders and knuckles again, and she looks at Big Business and she says, did you make a decision? Don't want to move on without you, big boy.
Yeah, I'm still thinking, but I thought of something. I forget things sometimes.
That's all right. Me
And-
too.
I dig into my breast pocket and pull out the letter.
She
not
looks at it.
My secret, but we were told to give this to you by Dave.
You see her, she reaches for the letter, and when you say his name, her hand crunches around it. Dead Drop Dave sent you with a letter for me?
We were already coming here, and he said he wanted to give you a letter.
Oh, did he? Did he?
He
Uh-oh.
We barely know the guy.
Well, let's everybody just stand back. Let's read the letter from Dead Drop Dave. And she kind of like unfolds this wrinkled up letter now, and she stands there and she just like she furiously reads it, just like
Never seen someone so violently read a letter before.
yeah, just
Like we've only known him like 36 hours.
And she's
Yes.
like, I mean, she is a hefty woman. This letter looks almost small in her hands, and she gets to the end and she says, well, isn't that rich? He's sorry that he's not been around for a while. For a while? And she crunches the letter and throws it on the ground and stomps it with a foot. And she says, you know, why don't we all just take a little bit of a break? I suggest all of you stay away from Dead Drop Dave. He's trouble. He doesn't stick around.
I mean, that's what he does. He goes to dead
Yeah,
drops
well,
and
she puts a big fat finger in your face. She says, that's what he said.
I'm confused. Why
Why don't we all just take a break? And she kind of like goes over and she starts up. You see this like interesting mechanism. It's clearly a generator, but it's been augmented from a variety of pieces of different machines and things. And she goes over and she like and she cranks this thing up and she gets it going and it starts kind of like rattling. And she looks at you, Mason, and she's holding like a big plug jack that's gonna go right in your bum, your big round hiney.
I've never done this before. I'm rather nervous.
And she says, just back up and turn off your thrusters.
Be gentle. Just because I'm metal doesn't mean I'm not fragile.
She lifts a flap and jams this thing into Mason's backside, and Mason, you immediately feel like you can feel the battery bar image starts going up as you begin to charge off of this generator.
That's the good stuff right there.
It's pretty loud, and she says they'll be serving dinner soon, or at least lunch soon, if there is anything. And she looks at all of you and she says, so I guess make yourself at home, shop the store, let me know if you need or want something. And about this time, a large piece of metal comes clattering down that flight of stairs on the far end of the balcony unit that goes up to the steeple. Like something fell, clack, 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 clack. And she takes a deep breath and she says, Sister Geiger, we talked about this. And there's like a moment and you hear that voice go, I'm sorry. And there's like muttering again from upstairs.
Big Business will lean down and pick up the fallen piece of metal.
It seems to be a just like a plate piece that might have been off an old turret or something. But it seems to all be coming from upstairs.
I turn around and go to hand it to Delilah or Mortimer and say,
the whole place would probably come down if I went up there.
Yes. I'll hold on to it.
Or you could give it back to her.
Sister goes, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going up there.
That would be
Weirds me out.
stealing if you held on to it.
Yes. You know what, Mortimer? Perhaps you want to.
All right. I'll take the
So
piece.
good. You take the piece and you're like, God, you gotta climb these stairs. And it's a couple spirals up to this steeple. And the closer you get, the more you hear the sound of like a mech welding unit or like the popping of somebody welding something, right? That blue light is kind of radiating now as the closer you get. And you can hear the voice of a woman that's like, yeah, that's it. Almost there. Oh, God, it's so close. I know. I just need this. Oh, fuck. And she's just constantly talking to herself. And the closer you get, the more you see the stacks of junk. Near the top of the stairs, the junk pile starts on either side of the staircase and kind of works its way up and amalgamates into a much larger space where the top of the steeple would be, where they would have actually kind of hung the bell. Now you're staring at kind of a workshop. And out of the top of it is some kind of strange, massive turret machine that she's been working on. It's not finished and it's clearly under, but it clearly is meant to be a turret that you can sit in and like drive and function that's going to be attached to the top of the steeple for protection.
You dropped a piece.
And she goes, ow! Ow! And she turns around and she's an older woman. She's great. Her hair stands kind of on end, like she stuck her finger in a light socket. She's got a set of goggles on that clearly her eyes kind of bulge when you kind of look through them. And she goes, ow. Ow. And she kind of straightens her robe. She's dirty. She wears these welding gloves. And she says, thank you?
I'm just like, where should I?
Just put it anywhere. And there's junk everywhere. You can barely see her workshop desk. Like, this place is just a little junk hole and for her to build this thing. She goes, wait. Have you seen one of these? And she opens up a piece of paper, and on it is kind of a schematic of what looks to be like it's almost like a dish or a plate of some kind. Like, there's nothing really special about it. There's nothing super scientific. It looks like a blueprint drawing of some kind of small dish or plate.
Do I recognize it?
You could actually make how would I do this? A perception? No. It would be a survival check. It's really kind of like a memory. We'll do intelligence survival.
Is it the bowl we saw in the church?
It is not a bowl. It's a lot flatter than that. Not as deep.
Okay.
It's built more like a small dish or plate.
Was it survival intelligence, did you say?
Yeah, we'll do survival intelligence. Let's see.
So, intelligence, survival, complete fail.
Yeah, it looks like it could be like the plate that you have in the pack mule, like, or the Brahmin outside, right? It looks very basic. There's nothing super scientific, even though it looks like a scientific drawing of a plate. And she kind of looks crazed through the goggle at you. Have you seen one of these?
I can't say I have? What is it?
It's a dish. Small in size. Gold.
I don't think so. What is?
You want to
does
find
it
some
do?
for me? So you're gonna finish this beauty right here, this gun. I gotta finish it. And I'm missing some parts. And you look like a strapping gentleman, and I was thinking that you might want to help me out.
I mean, if I come across some small
Oh, perfect.
gold
She grabs you by the arm and
dishes-
she pulls you over towards the edge of where the steeple looks out over this area. And she points over there to like a factory. She says, "You see that place? You see it?
Yeah.
There are super mutants in that building.
Oh,
They've got what I need. And I need you to go get it. Plus, we need to get rid of the super mutants.
okay. They're not friendly.
Uh,
Gotta check these days.
Do you have a friendly super mutant?
Yeah, he's downstairs. Probably wouldn't fit.
Oh,
up the
I
stairs.
don't go downstairs.
Well, maybe you can see him when he's walking around outside.
Oh, bird's eye view.
Don't test the gun on him or anything.
I'm Sister Geiger, and you're gonna go get this for me.
And she hands you the blueprint.
And I need a lot of them, like as many as your strong arms can carry.
Okay, well, I'm Mortimer, and I can.
Oh, nice name,
try.
Mortimer. Yeah. Go, you just go over there. You kill those super mutants, and you bring me back. Bring it back.
You say the killing super mutants part like it's of equal relevance and difficulty to all the other parts.
Look at you. You'll be fine.
No promises. But
Well, then, give me that
I'll-
back.
She snatches the blueprint.
Oh, okay.
You promise me, Mortimer, that you're gonna get it because you see this right here. Do you know what this is? Do you know what this is?
No.
This is an
My son Zero says.
anti-radiation gun. When it's complete, I'll be able to shoot a beam of energy that negates radiation.
Oh.
It is our only weapon against the last son of Adam. And if I don't get more of these,
And she holds up the wrinkled blueprint.
I can't finish it.
Okay, I'm sold on the plan, but I don't make promises
So
that I
promise
can't
me,
keep.
Mortimer, you're gonna go get the super mutants and bring me back gold dish.
That I can't promise, but I can promise to try.
I'll ask the super mutant.
Okay. Do you want me to relay the message for you?
No, just take this, just please. You have to.
I take the blueprint. It's like, I will try. That is all that I can promise.
I heard you say promise. You
Okay.
And
promised.
she flips the shield back down and goes back to like mech welding as the blue light starts as you come back down. And you see Sister Amos Nisha like smiling, like, told you so. She's like, so, how'd it go?
Do you have faith in her inventions?
I would say she's a capable scientist. Do I think she's going to
Good.
finish the gun? No. Because everything she needs is being protected by a bunch of super mutants. No offense, big guy.
None taken.
She says, but that's not really y'all's problem, is it? She says, why don't you go downstairs? Try to find something hot. You give everybody the food, and I'll be happy to fix all of your guns.
Sounds good.
And as you go back downstairs, you can see that the jam bakers have kind of tried to start finding a place to set up. It's like a really tight corner, but they're, and they're
Laying
doing
right in front of the forge.
Yeah,
with
right.
The fire.
like behind them. Yeah, so it's like really, really tight, but they're gonna play, and people are kind of excited about it. And for our last roll of the day, I'm gonna ask everybody to anybody that wants to can roll I guess this is a survival perception. As you kind of come down, you're coming down the steps to kind of take the space in.
Two successes?
2 successes.
Oh, nice.
Well, it's funny.
Yeah.
You actually see the same thing that our complication, unless you want to use a luck point. Big business.
I'm good. I'm
Okay,
fine.
we'll keep the complication. You both see the same thing. Mortar, yours is a little different. It's there's a sketchy guy. Everybody here has a little bit of sketch on them, but most of that's been brought upon them. They haven't chosen it. This guy looks like a weasel. And he's kind of off in the corner, in a shadowy corner, talking to a couple people. And he makes some kind of exchange, palm-to-palm exchange. Big business, you see the same thing. But this guy sees you see him make the trade. He knows you know. And you see his brow kind of drop, and he makes dark eyes at you. Like, don't tell anybody. This is the bully across the playground that's like, don't tell teacher.
I make dark eyes back at him.
He coughs and kind of pulls his arm off the wall where he was leaning to block the angle so nobody would see. And he smiles at the people he just made a trade to. And he goes back off into like one of the pews to sit down, and he begins kind of stirring one of the small pots in between. And we're going to have to end there
Oh boy.
because it is time. It is time. We'll end at Mechminster, and we'll pick up back next week back at Mechminster. I have a feeling there'll be some things I want to talk about. Think about. We're going to go do
Lots
an
of
after show,
things.
everybody. I believe we will be back next week, right?
I'm
Yeah.
good for next
Yeah,
week.
I think next week is
I think so,
happening.
yeah.
So yeah, we'll be back next week for another episode, everybody. We want to thank you for being here. If you're watching us after the live stream, please make sure to like hit all the buttons. There's like all kinds of things. If you hit them, they light up. It's really dope. You should hit the like button, the subscribe button, the things of the buttons. For those of you here, we want to thank you so much, and we want to thank our Patreon supporters and all of you who join us over in the Discord, who keep the conversation going. We will see you all next week for more Fallout Winter of Adam. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.